What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I am Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woohoo!
Yeah, hooray! This week, this is not a rerun. This is a new Mortal Kombat movie called Mortal Kombat. We are talking about 2021's 2020s as far as I'm concerned. Or was this supposed to come out last year? But this year
I legit do not know.
I don't remember.
I think this was always 2021.
I think you're right, because I feel like I didn't see a trailer, I haven't been seeing trailers with Black Widow for the last 5 years of my life. I feel like 2021's Mortal Kombat, a movie that we all watched. It was on HBO Max.
More like HBO Min, am I right, fellas?
Harsh burn.
Harsh.
Feels fair.
Who's your favorite Max, everybody? Let's make that our little bit where we chit-chat in the beginning.
Who's my favorite Max?
Weinberg from Conan O'Brien?
How about Maximilian Pegasus, the only correct answer for this question? Yugi boy.
I agree, however, I don't think he's a Max. He would never be like, oh, Max, what's up? You can't. Yeah, you can't see Pegasus at the other side of a bar and yell Max and expect him to see you.
You don't think he would be responsive?
No.
Really?
I feel like he knows everybody that matters, calls him Maximilian Pegasus or Maxi. I think you could get away with Maxi.
Maxi.
But I don't know about Max. I don't know, what about you, Diggins? Do you have any Maxes you like?
I'm going to go with Max Headroom.
Oh.
Max Headroom?
The infamous Best Max.
I
Never been caught. Never been caught. It is not me.
You guys are telling jokes I don't know, so I'm just going to
smile. Max Headroom? Mm-mm. It's a weird one. I don't even know how to explain it. Google it. It's a fun Google. It's a nice little rabbit hole to go down.
I don't love going down rabbit holes, but you know what? For you guys, I'll do it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, DJ, do you have a Max then?
I said
some Maxes.
You're not giving me Maximilian Pegasus, are you?
Not at all.
Damn it.
I feel like there's a big difference between a Max and a Maximilian.
All right, I want to go with Max.
There's about a million differences. Am I right?
Very good.
Yugi boy. I'm gonna go with Max from the dad from Wolf of Wall Street. That's who I'm gonna go with.
Sure.
That was his name, I believe, because I think they nicknamed him Mad Max. So I'm picking
the dad. Are you talking about the one that's the Punisher? Or
no?
Whose dad is he? Is he Leo's dad?
He's Leo's dad.
Oh, okay, sure.
He's an actor. I just can't. Oh, he's is he Carl Reiner's son?
Rob Reiner?
Carl Reiner Jr.?
Carl's Jr.? The hamburger? It's a little Mayor McCheese style, like man with a hamburger head. I think that's it.
I think I'm right with Rob Reiner, or you're right with Rob Reiner. I think that's who it is.
That is Carl Reiner's son, so yeah, you're probably right. That seems like something. I don't remember. That movie is way too long.
It is. So
much that, not that it's a bad movie, but I just forget the stuff from the beginning of it.
Oh, I get it. I forget things, in my regular, normal life, so how am I expected to, I don't expect you to remember things in a movie.
Another good one, you said it, kind of Max Rockatansky or whatever his name is, Mad Max. He's a good Max.
But that's that's the answer. I don't want to give the answer,
Fair. Fair.
I like being innovative and weird. That's what's gotten me so far in this podcast, being innovative and weird. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Sure.
Nod and say yes, God damn
That's up to listeners, and I know this is early. Tweet DJ a GIF that is just why you love him on the podcast.
Ooh, yeah.
At Zippy by Day. It can't be words. It can't be like someone saying, because you're, I don't even know, but whatever it is, yeah, it has to just be some image or picture or something like that. But it can't be any words.
No words.
No words. Pictionary rules apply here. Speaking of no words, I want to talk about a movie. Might as well have had no words. Had a couple good words. You know what? I would be fair. They had some amazing words in this movie.
So maybe phrases? Maybe some good phrases?
It's some solid phrases.
Which I would almost label fan service, but, whatever.
Oh, I'm talking even other ones. Like when one character's like, he's got a birthmark. What's that?
Oh,
it's a
God.
mark he was born with. Lines like that, I think, really awesome.
Really makes this movie sing, huh, Nando?
Yeah. We're talking about 2021's Mortal Kombat. You guys, I'm so excited. Are you guys excited?
No.
I'm beyond.
No, I
excited.
shouldn't say that. I'm kind of excited. I maybe I set expectations this movie couldn't meet, but like obviously we'll get there. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm excited to talk about with regards to this movie. At least Annihilation was comically bad.
I mean, DJ.
Yes.
I will check back in with you in 10 minutes when you have changed your mind about whether you like this movie or not. Because it is a Mortal Kombat movie, which you just can't decide.
Ready? I'm going to double down on a different claim that I've already made to further substantiate that this claim is correct. How about that, Nando?
God.
How about
Impossible. I won't have it. You know what I will have? I want you guys to read the IMDb summary to me.
Oh, yeah, this is me versus Diggins.
Diggins, because I just read it. So I thought for a second, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's me, but yeah.
Yeah, we've done the good rotation where I don't think anyone's done a double week yet. So this would be Diggins to, or like, has had a double loss? Yeah, has had a double loss.
A couple of I don't think anyone's been 3 for sure. There's nobody who has been comfortable in the doghouse.
Yes, which is good. All right.
Although that could change.
It's a lot of pressure.
This could be a week.
So
this is a weird one.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. I went first last. I was the host last week. A very bad host, as we all remember. I suck at being the host. But so Diggins, do you want to go first or second? I'll give you the gentleman's choice.
I'm going to go second this time.
Okay.
So here, let me give you guys.
Yeah, please. I would like something.
2021's Mortal Kombat, directed by Simon McQuaid. Starring Louis Tan as Cole Young, Jesse McNamee, or McNamee, maybe, I don't know, Sonia Blade, Joss Lawson as Kano, Joe Taslim as Bihan, and Makad Brooks as Jax, among others, obviously. Okay. I'll say the summary. I don't know what to tell you. It's a fine summary. It's nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy? Okay.
Nothing crazy.
Okay. All right.
Oh, actually, you know what? That's not true at all. It totally lies about something. But besides that, pretty good.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I'm not gonna let that defeat me. I'm just gonna go with my heart. So I'll go nothing crazy. A group of fighters must. Let me start over. A group of Earth's greatest fighters must team up to defeat an invading force and save the world.
Okay. Dickens, what do you got?
Young fighter Cole Young finds his destiny at a mysterious tournament where he must fight for the fate of the Earth.
Well, this is tough.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll say that,
what goofs must we do this week?
I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I would say Dickens started really strong.
Oh.
But I do think DJ had one thing that I thought was pretty solid.
Oh.
So I'm going to ask this instead.
Okay.
Say other words, starting with DJ, that you think might be in this thing that none of you have said so far.
Well, okay. So if you said one thing's a liar, okay. This is... I'm going to be so wrong, but I think that Diggins is probably closer because he went with the approach on focusing on Cole, right? Well, I mean, don't tell me whether I'm right, but I'm just talking out loud.
I'm pretty sure I did say that. I think I said he started pretty well.
Right. So I'm going to go with, because I don't think I said these words. I said a group of Earth's greatest fighters. So I'm going to say like Cole, a professional fighter or something like that. Like, is that a detail? That could be my guess for an added detail that's in there.
Okay, Diggins, what about you?
I'm going to say the word family.
Ooh.
Damn. I got to give it to DJ.
Oh shit, what was it?
Yeah. So here's where we're going to land, and I think you'll all understand my reasoning.
Okay.
MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. So obviously, Diggins had young Cole Young, very good. DJ throwing in the fighter thing was great, and then DJ had a phrase that was very similar to Earth's greatest champions that I thought
like
was
Earth's
very...
Greatest Fighters or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not going to dispute. I think I won that.
Here's
controversy.
Here's where not like you lost me, but I do think I just wish when he would set Outworld or something like that, like something gotten at the scope of what the deal with it is.
Yeah.
I think as important as Cole is, and maybe this is just the Mortal Kombat fan in me, the Earth's Greatest Champions part is way better. Also, you know what? Earth's Greatest Champions for DJ is very good because I think the Earth distinction is very, like, Earth Champions is a good distinction to make. Not that Diggins completely didn't make it. You did say they were fighting for the fate of the Earth, but DJ also said that. And also the thing says it's battle for the universe, which... Like, I guess kind of. That's not what I think the lie here is. I think the lie is that Cole Young seeks out Earth's Greatest Champions.
Oh, that's
right?
the lie.
Like, that's not what happens. Cole Haan is... Or, excuse me. I couldn't stop saying Cole Haan when I was talking this about somebody else. Yeah, because, like, my sister used to work at Cole Haan, the place that sells shoes.
Yep.
And I, can't help it. But I think hearing... I think, like, the movie is definitely not about Cole Young seeking out the champions. If anything, he's recruited to join the champions, maybe against his will or whatever.
Explicitly what happens in the movie. So I mean,
I thought the lie was that like he's a fighter because he's not. He's not.
That's true too.
He's
I thought the lie would
fights.
be that there was a tournament because there isn't.
That's also another lie.
So I was expecting that too, but they don't even mention the tournament. They just say he has to stand against the enemies, which I think is a good like representation of what this movie is. However, I've got to give it to DJ. I know Diggins, you're appealing here.
I'm not appealing.
That's true. Diggins says he's not going to appeal. That's very honorable of you, Diggins.
You can appeal if you want, Diggins. I have another tiebreaker.
No. I mean, the listener will know that I actually won, but we can continue with DJ having, we can do a Marissa Tomei here. It's fine.
Oh my God.
You know what, Diggins? I and maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm always honest with you too. I will remember this next week. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think you will, but okay.
You're right. You're so fucking right.
Well, listen. Speaking of things that don't really matter in the long run, let's talk about Mortal Kombat, the movie about Mortal Kombat.
Get wrecked, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it's not that it doesn't matter in the long run. It's just that, like, the Mortal Kombat part of it, it doesn't matter that much.
The Mortal Kombat is inconsequential. I will agree with you there.
It would be an interesting thing in the future. Like, I understand why characters care about it, but I also understand why it's not a good premise for a movie.
I'm with you.
But yeah, we'll talk about it. Guys, this is really exciting. We've done it. We've beaten the gauntlet of Mortal Kombat
this is
movies.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this because we'll obviously talk about the end, but, we have a future for movies, and I'm like, I don't know what movie we'll do that isn't the punch, punch, fight, fight movie, so, yeah.
Well, if we go on to Fast and Furious, at this point, we're at the part where they're just punch, punch, fight, fight movies. So,
all right, that's fair. And actually, it's a good point of what we probably have to do next.
Well, we have the Mitchell's First Machine movie that comes out tomorrow or whatever.
Yay.
And, like, that's going to be a good movie, but I don't know if that'll be as fun as this. But also, it's kind of like, maybe we should talk about it because it's probably better. But also, maybe this movie is perfect. Who knows? What did you guys think? DJ, you won the contest.
I did.
According to me specifically. What did you think of 2021's Mortal Kombat?
So listen, I'm going to triple down, if even possible at this point, that the original 1995 or whatever it is, Mortal Kombat, is the best Mortal Kombat movie, and what I would say is an acceptable movie because it does things well. Obviously, this movie is not the shit show that Annihilation was, but I found it to be too self-serious when I think the premise of Mortal Kombat is silly. And I think where this movie's especially weak is that it has the Mortal Kombat characters with some of the themes, but it doesn't lean into Mortal Kombat like the first movie does. And I find that personally to be a failing of the movie, so it falls short for me. Some of the fight scenes were good. I enjoyed some of the characters, but overall, I think the movie just fell a little flat for me. So, yeah, I'm not a fan. Give it an average, like, meh performance. I think it's like a 55 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's, like, exactly where I would spot it. But, yeah, it was an okay movie, poor Mortal Kombat movie, decent video game movie, below average regular movie. So, Yeah, that's where I land.
Wow, very interesting. Not shocked, but surprised.
And I'm not gonna flip flop pancake. None of that. I am sticking firm on how I feel about the original Mortal Kombat, and I wish I didn't dig that hole week one, because what a foolish hole it was to dig.
A foolish hole. It was like you were a hand, like a person that helps out a wonderful Japanese man by digging a hole with a fancy spear thing.
Exactly.
In his garden. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
That we can really linger on a couple of times, just in case we forget someone's got a fancy spear in the vicinity of the guy. What about you, Diggins? What did you think of 2021's Mortal Kombat?
I think it's very funny and very telling that the main emotional conflict of this movie is its main character desperately searching for a personality.
Got him.
Which he then fails at. Yeah, I don't know. It's not very good. It's a pretty bad movie overall. It makes a lot of weird choices that I don't understand. I think it's better than Annihilation. Certainly. Annihilation was a trash fire. This is just kind of uninteresting.
Low bar to clear, yeah.
Wow.
But, man, it's not a very good movie. Sorry, guys.
I mean, don't apologize to me. I'm with you, dude.
Apologize to me. And obviously, it doesn't matter. You know what? Like, your opinion is your opinion, but you're both wrong. This movie is a phenomenal movie.
Whoa!
It captures everything that's important about the spirit of Mortal Kombat. It's got the characters are a riot in terms of either them actually being a riot or the, kind of campiness of some of them. I think there's definitely some things that are lacking. I think if you watch this movie right after watching 95 and Annihilation, it's easy to see, maybe be like, oh, this actor was a little bit better as this character than this guy is, and whatever. But I had a blast watching this movie. Start to finish, I had a smile on my face. There was one point in the movie where I was like, oh no, this is going to be terrible. It's going to lose me. And then it didn't. And I'm sure
I want to be clear here, Nando. You said you had a smile on your face start to finish, including the moments when Cole was the only person on screen? Really?
I'll be honest, I didn't hate Cole. I thought Cole was okay. Yeah, I think Cole is almost as good as any of their other protagonists in this movie, and your average action movie protagonist. I think he's fine.
Oof.
Yeah.
Nando, did you get into a serious car crash before watching Mortal Kombat?
Like Cole, have taken too many hits to the head, apparently.
Maybe.
I think, I don't know, maybe there was something about Cole in the beginning of the movie that made me go like, oh yeah, I don't mind him. He's fine. His I think he worked as a POV character where most of the things he was doing was standing around more interesting characters and just like going like, wow, you guys are just gonna fight here in the middle of the desert. All right. But I think most of the stuff where it was just him and, his daughter or whatever, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think the parts I wish he was like a really charismatic, fun character, but
I wish he had a single personality trait, but
I think the movie understands that he's not that interesting as the movie's not about him as much as it is about him. It's mostly about the video game. It's like a movie where the main character is a video game from 1991, and it has a lot of character progression, and most of the times if you're like, why is this happening, it's like, well, that happens in the video game. But I think that overall, that's a movie. Yeah, I had a blast with it. Thought it handled the lore about as well as I was expecting. And I thought all the fight scenes were cool and sweet. I really liked it.
Color me surprised.
I mean, favorite movie of the year, maybe?
Really?
As of now, probably.
What?
I mean, we'll see.
It won't be in the long run. There's 7 movies coming out that you'll be like, this is better. And, justifiably so.
I mean, listen, do I like this more than Fast and Furious 8? Maybe?
Really?
Wow. Here's what it is. I think the parts of this movie that really worked will stay with me for a very long time. Fatalities, some of the lines, some of the humor, whatever. And just the way they chose to portray some of the characters from the game, I will be like, they'll just, I don't know. I think a lot of it worked. I don't expect too much from a Mortal Kombat movie. I'm sure you could make these in a Game of Thrones or whatever, but also I think as far as a movie kind of about the Mortal Kombat universe. It is like the first one, and you gotta be like, oh yeah, I guess we don't really have too much, Jax, and he has to do his thing where he gets his arms by the end. So like, there's a lot of that kind of going through the motions, but I still think most of that. I don't know. I like most of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So where do we start? I don't know. Well, you guys hated what is his name? Louis Tan, Cole Young.
Well, I don't want to say I hated him. I just thought that he was a blank white piece of paper on screen that I really wanted to not be on my screen in most times because he does nothing.
To hate Cole, there would have to be something to him. There would have to be something I could latch onto and be like, this annoys me. But he is as empty a character as I've ever seen in a movie. I literally couldn't name you a single personality trait. Even though he has a whole arc that's about him having to discover just a single facet of his personality. Just a single one, and he doesn't do it. It's incredible.
Name some of Cole's personality traits. Like, how would you describe Cole? You're filling out one of those like personality quizzes. If you had to take that for Cole, how would you describe Cole? Like adjectives, just some adjectives.
He's nice. He's tall. He's a good fighter. He loves his family.
Question mark? Good fighter? Question mark?
He's an actor that can fight well, I guess.
I'm not slandering the actor here.
Yeah, the character is Cole a good fighter.
No, yeah, the character's not a good fighter, but the character is not like it's not painful to watch that character fight.
Sure.
What else is it about his character? I think he has the right amount of kind of self-awareness. I think the thing about Cole that I think makes him work so well for me is when he has in a scene with another more interesting character, he usually knows to sit back and watch and just let them do
your
something.
Favorite thing about Cole is when he's not doing anything.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, but that's the thing. It's like I don't think him not being the most interesting guy in the world makes that much of a difference to the movie because I don't think his personality is what drives what makes the movie fun.
But he's the main character of the movie, Nando. He's who the movie is about.
But Mad Max is the main character of Fury Road, but that doesn't mean he has to be the most compelling guy on screen at all times. Like,
no, but he has to be compelling.
You watch it for the other people.
There has to be something about him that is interesting, which there is, as opposed to Cole, who could be replaced with a sexy lamp. And I don't think it would make any difference to the movie.
I don't know. Could that lamp fight?
Tall lamp.
Yeah.
I think, again, I'm not, do I think Cole is a very good protagonist? Probably not. But I don't think he drags down the movie for me, and I think the rest of it works. And I think here's the difference I'd say between him and other lesser characters. Specifically, and we haven't gotten to him yet, obviously, because we haven't done this fast movie. But like your Scott Eastwood types, where I just think they're flat out not very good actors. I think he is fine. I think he shows up, reads his lines, reacts well, better than I'd expect for a MMA actor MMA fighter turned actor. And I don't know, I didn't have any problem with him. I liked that he was a generally functional adult. I liked that his deal wasn't that he hated his ex-wife and he had a kid. He kind of had a similar vibe to The Rock and a San Andreas, where he's like, hey, just get that. I don't know.
And no sexual energy also, right? So, I would super agree with you there.
I mean, technically, he had at least one sexual energy once, right?
I suppose.
Little baby.
True.
That's
he
it.
needed some kind of deal, though. He needed something to make me care about him besides that he has a family. That's his one personality trait, that he has a family. You take away the family, and there's literally nothing. Including, it was so funny to me that the whole thing they set up is you've got to find your personality trait, which will activate your arcana, and his is, I have a family. It's on the nose.
I mean, listen, again, I feel like we can treat this like that Godzilla movie you like, even though all the characters are made of cardboard. It's mostly there for the Godzillaing, and the characters being made of cardboard is fine, but I can see the movie past them and enjoy it. But I don't.
But the thing is that the main character of Godzilla vs. Kong.
I mean just Godzilla 1, the 2014 one,
the one that we love.
The one you like that I don't particularly care for.
Oh, that one. I think that's fair. But
he acts as a plot, he soaks up all the plot sauce and delivers it to you by being near you. But I think it's about the same as I would usually expect from like a, not great action movie. I don't think he's as good. Like, I think it's weird that he's there at all. I agree there. Like, there's no need for his character necessarily, but he doesn't ruin it for me at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, does good enough fighting. I don't know if I'd prefer an actor who's a really good fighter, or a really good actor, or like a pretty good actor but a really bad fighter.
See, the bad fight
like this,
the bad fighting you could replace with like stunt doubles, right?
Yeah, and I mean his fighting was never the best part of the fighting. Although I think he shows up in the end for his like bit at the very end,
right?
But he's not really in that part that much either, so it doesn't really matter. But I feel like it is fair. I don't disagree that Cole Haan. God damn it, Cole Young.
No, this is good. It's Cole Haan every time.
Baby Scorpion isn't bad, or isn't like very good, but I definitely am able to look past his general shortcomings and go like, yeah, I don't know, he seems nice.
Well, there's nothing short about those shortcomings, am I right?
Let's see what him and he's got very tall comings, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't hate him for being tall.
I do. I kind of hate him for being tall. Here's the thing. It's a fighting game, so everybody's about the same height, except he is noticeably taller than a lot of other characters in the movie. And honestly, it's not that I don't like that he's tall. It kind of makes him stand out as, like, weird. I don't know. He does look just too tall for this movie. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's probably a good thing if you're a fighter. You want to have good reach.
You typically want to be tall. Proportions matter.
But he's got a good foot on Liu Kang and like Kano and all of the friends, and it's a little strange. I almost want him to like get them on milk crates or him to stand on his knees or something for the group shots, because he does look a little too tall. Which is why they have to send the tallest guy to kill him. Which is a shame.
The only thing that can defeat tall people are other tall people.
That's right.
Well documented, like fact of life.
Yeah.
They know their secret weakness of having arms, having sliceable arms.
Oh God!
But forget about
like
Cole
butter.
for a second. How about all the rest of it? Wasn't it great? Scorpion, he's amazing. I love Scorpion in this.
Sure. Pre-death or post-death? Yeah, which version?
Both. Everything Scorpion did in this movie. Beautiful.
They're the best fights, I'll give you that. So in a Mortal Kombat movie, you get a lot of points for having the best fights. So, yeah.
Opening, way too long. Way too long to the point of being silly.
Didn't hate it.
I think the bit where he was killing... Are we talking about the bit where... In the end or in the beginning where he's killing all the dudes?
The opening. The 14-minute long opening with Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
You clocked it?
Dude. You could have given me a 45-minute long opening with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I would have watched it.
You could have made a whole movie about Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and I've been like, yeah, this is good. This is a movie. But a 14-minute long intro about them in a movie that's in no way, shape, or form about them is bizarre.
Well, to be fair, Scorpion, like Sub-Zero shows up a fair amount, kind of.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do, other than like the basic plot fact of the baby is Cole's great-great-great-great-great-grandma or whatever. It has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It's just a thing that happened.
Yes, I agree. I wish they had made that movie, but also I'm sure Warner Brothers or whoever wouldn't have let them. Kind of like, I think they were like, listen, you're putting all these characters in. It needs to take place in the present day. It needs to be like, young and cool, and we need lots of pop culture references, so it can't take place in the past.
Say dope a lot.
This movie made up that being in the past. In the video game lore, that happened in like the 70s.
Oh, sure, yeah. But I think the setting for, why is this guy doing sword fights? Well, he's from the time when sword fights happen. Is this like pretty reasonable way to, like, you could easily write a movie just about the Scorpion Sub-Zero, next Sub-Zero conflict, and maybe throw in a couple of other characters that wouldn't be crazy to see in that time frame, in like feudal Japan or whatever. Like, that movie would also be fine. I heard a lot of people saying this movie was like, that part of it was the movie that they wish this movie was, and I understand that. I think that would have been a cool movie.
Like, wish it took more. Like, did you want less focus on everyone else and like just a Sub-Zero Scorpion thing?
Well, I'm not saying like I want it to happen. I think like a Sub-Zero Scorpion period piece about revenge and stuff could work.
Oh, I said totally focusing on that. Oh, I see.
I think those fights were fun.
They were.
And I think those two characters have the most fun gimmicks, besides one, obviously. But, like, the, whip and fire and all that stuff versus ice, whatever. Those are fun to watch. And, you throw in a couple of other Mortal Kombat side characters, some other Lin Kuei whatevers, then you got, like, a whole movie.
Okay.
But... So I understand people being like, well, no, that's like you start the movie 15 minutes of awesome stuff, and then you pull the rug out from under me and make me watch this guy. I get not liking him as much. However, the movie's amazing, so that's all I got.
I mean, my problem with the intro is just that, again, it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. We spent 15 minutes watching this scene for no reason.
I wouldn't say no reason. It gives us our, like, almost actually kind of climax, right? What happens there is pretty much the climax of the movie.
But that makes the ending feel weird, because then the ending has nothing to do with anything that happened before, except for the 15-minute intro that wasn't related to anything else.
I mean, he's a guy with destiny, so you want to do, like, a destiny of, like...
I hate the destiny thing. I hate it.
Oh, this is. I feel like we're just like finding. Well, not that we don't.
Yeah, it's a tough one in a Mortal Kombat movie. I feel like everybody's got to have some destiny. Not everybody has to, but there's a fair amount of destiny that usually hangs around that franchise.
They made up the prophecy thing and his destiny and his ancient bloodline giving him superpowers or whatever. That's all made up. They didn't have to put that in. Well, no, but
I'm saying, like, Kung Lao, destiny. Like, they're playing characters in Mortal Kombat where their deal is like, it is my destiny to be like Katana and Bloodlines and stuff. It's not like you're taking something like... It's not like James Bond where it's a franchise that works without destiny and adding destiny to it. I think you're just kind of shifting around the destiny.
I guess what annoys me about it is that Liu Kang in the first movie, he's like destined warrior or whatever, but he's there because Shang Tsung killed his brother. And so he has a personal motivation. And, like, the destiny exists, but it's not really that important.
Okay.
In this movie, there's no reason Cole is there other than destiny. At no point does he have any reason to be there other than destiny. And then in the end, he wins the fight because his super special bloodline power summoned Scorpion. Not because of anything that has anything to do with who he is as a person. Which you couldn't do anything that way because there is nothing to him as a person. So he's just like a cipher. He has no meaning or personality or anything that has anything to do with the movie. He's pure destiny. And that's what annoys me.
Okay.
I mean, he loves his family, too. That's very important.
Family.
Yeah. He has a nice little daughter who gave him a little bracelet.
At what minute of the movie do you think that either his wife or his daughter gets their name said out loud?
Oh, God. It's in the hours mark, right? Like, it's actually, like super dumb.
If either of them gets their name said out loud, it's got to be at the very end when he's, like, yelling, "Get back in the house, Jennifer," or whatever.
Yeah, because I could not tell you. Put a gun to my head, I could not tell you who the...
Or he could be yelling at the very end, like, when they're in the ice, like, just, like, yelling their names.
You were so close to being wrong, Nando, but you got it right at the end there. The first time anyone says their name is when he gets to the ice rink with Sub-Zero, and he's like, "Emily, no!"
Very good. Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that he had his little daughter. That was nice.
Again,
to it's just that then she got frozen in ice.
It's such like an on the nose, like creating characters just so he has someone to make us be like, oh, he's a family man and now I care about him. But like those characters don't matter at all. The entire Young family could be replaced by sexy lamps and it wouldn't make any difference to me.
That I believe, because they didn't need to fight, so I could see the sexy lamps for the Young family. I'm with you there.
Again, I could see there's a version of this movie where they are sexy lamps, and I still love this movie because all the other stuff around the lamps is pretty sick.
Because he's so into lamps.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, if you agree that the Cole Young stuff is not very good, but you just didn't care about it that much, then I understand that, and that's fine. But that Cole Young stuff was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was not very interesting, and I think it's a tough thing to square because he is an original character created for the game.
Yeah, baby.
Like for the movie that's not from the game. Now, I've tried to think about this where, like, what you could do with that guy, right? Like, how do you, if you want a character to be related to Scorpion, I think you could maybe have him be Scorpion reincarnated, and that's the only way you could do that exact same plot.
Right.
But that's all I got. But, like, you have to be reincarnated Scorpion without any memories or something.
I think the fun twist would have been that his daughter needs to fight in the tournament because she's Scorpion.
That'd be sick.
So like the first time I watched that movie, I watched the first half of the movie, and then I was like, I had explained this to Hannah. I was like, you want to watch this movie with me? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, it's fair. I'll watch some of it, and I'll decide if it's something you'll hate or something that you can enjoy. And by the halfway through, I was like, hey, this isn't too bad. I think she'll like this. That was right. Great time. But the first time I watched it, for watching half of the movie, I thought that was not his daughter. I thought that was his girlfriend's daughter.
Yeah, same.
The first time I saw it, I thought it was his sister. And because the age with that kid and him and the woman he's with, very confusing.
Ambiguity? Yeah, it's ambiguity central.
It took me until they got to the house and he was like putting her to sleep and then talking to his wife where I was like, okay, so it is wife-daughter. That's the situation. Got it. Like, I was not sure until that point.
I think Jax says it or something like that. Like, the second time I watched it, I think she was like, what is this guy's deal? Who are these people he's standing next to? And I think I said, that person is not his wife. She's his girlfriend. That's the girlfriend's daughter. And then when they get ice cream, he says something like, you're my daughter. I'll get you ice cream. And then I was like, fuck, I really missed this then.
That's how all dads say it. They go, you're my daughter. I'll buy you ice cream. That's the framing every time.
What a good dad, you know?
That's how you know it's a good father.
I mean, listen. Yeah, he's fine. Let's talk about the other stuff.
Yeah.
Scorpion.
The less bad stuff, I'd argue. Yeah, Scorpion's cool.
Scorpion's cool. He can flip around, and he's got a sword, and he's got the gardening tool with a rope on it that he can sling at guys, and I think all those bits where he cuts all their heads off in the beginning is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a slow start to the movie, and I think the fighting, when it is good, is what is compelling about this movie, because all of Mortal Kombat Annihilation's fighting was so bad that, at least here, it's like, oh, fight good, yay. Like, as simple as that sounds, I think it actually helps this movie.
And I think the R-ratedness of it doesn't feel completely neutered like the other Mortal Kombat movies. Like, and not just like when a guy splits a guy in half and it's like, well, yeah, that obviously wouldn't be in those other movies. But just like there's bits where a guy cuts a guy with a sword in the other movies and just like that guy falls over. And in this, he bleeds a bunch because he just got cut with
he gets
sword.
Like cartoony CGI red blood shoots out of him like Reptile in the first movie.
Love that. Oh my god. I appreciate. I'm so there for all that bullshit. And I think the stuff like that, there was some of it in this movie where it was like over the top kind of ham-handed bullshit, and I was there for that, but I was also there for like the parts of this movie where we were just supposed to be like, that's Liu Kang, he's cool. Although we'll get to him. But I think a lot of the other stuff I think I had a really weird balance between liking some things genuinely, just being like, cool fight to see, and then some things being like, this is pretty stupid, and that's what I like about it. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't think this movie's like one thing also, which like I guess that helps because you don't know like how to feel. Like Kano's introduction is, I think, actually pretty clever how they do it. And I think when they take like swings like that in this movie, some of them hit. So
the screenwriter of this movie loved Kano.
Oh my god, huge Kano stan. Just loved him.
It's tough. I think Kano is very tricky in this movie as a character. Like, I think they have to use him. He has to be a quit machine, but he also has to ask all the important questions.
Right.
As they like kind of make themselves available to us, the audience. And like, I guess maybe in a better version of this movie, maybe that would be Cole's job or some other character, so that it's not just the Kano show. Because he has like half of the script dialogue is all just Kano riffs.
He's so cool and misunderstood, and you don't even 35 countries I've done illegal shit in. You have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like all right, one of those things where it feels weird that he ends up betraying them and is just a generic bad guy at the end, because like it felt like he was the second main character of the movie.
Yeah,
but also because it's Kano, makes sense that he betrays him. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, it does. But
and anyway, that's why the main character of the movie is the video game that the movie is based on, and like the development is it goes from a movie to the video game, and that's its arc. And all the characters just fall right into their little positions and do their do their fatalities, and I don't know, for some reason it all works for me.
I think you're absolutely right that is the arc of the movie. I just don't think it's a very good arc for a movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's tricky. Kano, I think, is probably the biggest example of like why that arc might not work, is because I don't think he's necessarily a very complex character, and I think the movie does a lot of work in the beginning to be like, yeah, you're supposed to really not like this guy. Like, don't trust him. Obviously, don't trust him, but also like someone's gonna kill him eventually.
Don't get attached.
Yeah, it'll be the blonde girl. She'll kill him. It might be.
Have you guys seen Mortal Kombat before?
Scene. Yeah,
we're only going to innovate so much,
but
which, I mean, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We got a couple character introductions really quick. So let's go through some of the main Mortal Kombat fighters in the beginning of the movie. Scorpion, Hanzo Asashi.
Is that his name in the game? By the way, is that like a thing?
Yeah, that's real.
So I finished Mortal Kombat 11, by the way, and I feel like I have a pretty solid handle on the Mortal Kombat lore.
Oh, really?
Because I've also read up on it after this. Yeah. So yeah, he's part of a clan of ninjas that has been killed by the beginning of this movie. I can't remember what their name is.
Ryu.
Shiryu, yes, that's right. Shiryu, and they're a just kind of rival ninja group, and that's kind of it, I guess, for him in the beginning of the movie. His kids.
And the end of the movie.
At least by the end of the movie, he has like superpowers and stuff. In the beginning of the movie, he's kind of just a guy.
Go ahead, Nando.
I mean, does he have a deal with the devil that he has made previous to the movie starting?
Yeah, right.
He's just so mad when he dies that he gets sent to hell to be a revenge ghost.
Yeah, I think that's right. Which is very strange, but it's adorable. So you get his introduction, you get Bi-Han, who is Sub-Zero 1. And loved him. I think their fights were the best because they're, like we're kind of saying, their gimmicks are the most fun. I love Bi-Han. He's
a real menace to him, which is fun.
And he has like a bad, he's kind of like that Wolverine. Like, he makes ice come out of his hands, but it also fucks up his hands when he does it, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good for him, but he's just that cool.
Well, he has to do it.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
He's part of the Lin Kuei clan. The best ones, maybe. And in the
they apparently
games,
just have random ice powers for some reason.
Yeah, so we get like a little bit of an introduction to the idea of Mortal Kombat, I guess. And the idea of this arcana, or whatever, arcana, that's something that I've never seen in the games. Or I don't know. Is that from something? Diggins, have you ever heard of this, Arcana?
No, they made that up for the movie.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks. A lot of the characters that got an Arcana, it's either they actually have a gun that does that, or that they could just do some of those things anyway. So that's good.
Because magic just exists in the Mortal Kombat universe.
Yeah.
So you can just do magic if you're good enough.
Yeah, like Raiden doesn't have like a,
little belt.
He's just a magic guy.
Yeah,
like,
he's a god.
He's a wizard. There's wizards. I would say this obviously skews kind of Harry Potter-y, but it skews very just like, it's like right in the middle between Harry Potter and X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Mortal Kombat Cole.
Yeah.
What do they call them? Like the just chosen warriors? Is like that's their title?
Combatants with a K.
And the combatants, yeah. So yeah, Scorpion great, Sub-Zero great, all great stuff. Cole, Han, that's his name. Cole Young. He is a fighter. He does underground UFC cage fighting, which I guess is a thing. I don't know. People throw money at a cage when he fights.
There's all kinds of amateur MMA, and he's like fine, I guess.
You can just walk in off the street. The door's open.
I mean, getting paid only $200 for that is insane.
Insane.
Like, it's not like calmed down MMA. It's like, oh, that's the kind of shit you would see in an actual MMA fight. They're just doing it at a much lesser level. But
it's not like he has an Instagram following or something, and that's how he really makes his money.
Yeah, right.
He just gets beat up every day for very little money. Sucks.
And then the promoter or whatever who hires him at the beginning of the movie is like, "Hey, it's you. Here's your flaw that I'm going to talk about where you have no defense. You just throw wild punches all the time." And Cole's like, "Is that going to show up in my character or my fighting style at any point in this entire movie?" And the promoter's like, "No, I'm just saying it now, and it's never going to matter again."
I mean,
Hold on, I thought it was the opposite with him. Was his deal was he just takes punches, like he's like Rocky. He's just a punch sponge, and he doesn't have he doesn't win fights because he doesn't.
No, the guy says you should. He's smart. He attacks and defends. You should try that sometime instead of just throwing punches.
Huh.
You see how much it doesn't matter to anything, Nando? It has no bearing on anything, the fact that he says this.
I'll go back and watch that bit real quick. But also, that guy doesn't matter, and Rocky or Cole's family doesn't matter. And the guy he's fighting, he's not from the game, right? He's not from something.
No, he's just some dude.
Guy.
Although, when Jax shows up to him after the match, he's like, you took the belt from Eddie Tobias. That's a reference to the creators of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon and John Tobias.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't even catch that. That's a really weird, factoid's not the word. Cute little thing the movie did? I don't know what you'd call that.
Reference.
The movie's full of those things,
Easter
so get
egg.
used to them.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I guess Easter eggs.
But also, Bihan and Scorpion had some great stuff. Do you remember the line that Bihan and Scorpion, they both have their little moment right before they fight? Do you remember what Scorpion says to Bihan?
I don't know what you're saying.
Bihan says a bunch of stuff that's I avenge the Lin Kuei, whatever, blah, blah, blah. In Chinese. And then in Japanese, Scorpion just goes, I don't know what you just said, but I am going to kill you. That was a great line.
That was pretty good.
love that the best thing they could think of for distinguishing when people are speaking Chinese versus
is
Japanese
just to
just
tell
putting
us.
in the little thing at the bottom.
I mean, I guess,
in Chinese, in Japanese.
I mean, how would you have them do it? I don't know how I would do it.
People would complain. Yeah, just be like, well, she's actually Chinese. And then just, fuck it. You gotta, you have to capitulate to the nerds.
One way that I liked it being handled before is in the movie The Handmaiden, where the difference between Korean and Japanese is very important. Mm-hmm. They just set up at the beginning that Korean is subtitled in white and Japanese is subtitled in yellow.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Which is cool. Which is actually really cool, because then you can also, if someone just throws in a Japanese word into a Korean sentence, you can have that one word in yellow, and then they just threw it, they're mixing it up. I thought it was neat. No, I'm not seriously criticizing this movie, because that's a Korean movie where the whole movie is in those two languages, and it's important, and this is the 15-minute intro scene, and then it never matters again, and mostly people aren't talking in that scene. So, whatever. You don't really need to be that innovative. I just thought it was funny.
I mean, Bihan says some things to Scorpion's kid. I would assume also in Japanese, as Scorpion's kid seems to get it, so...
Yeah.
Maybe Scorpion's just a little thick. He doesn't, he's not as worldly.
No. Bihan speaks both Chinese and Japanese. He says something in Chinese to his family, then sees they don't understand, and says some more stuff in Japanese. So he's just speaking in Chinese to Scorpion later, I guess to be rude? I don't know.
Is it like an insult or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess deciphering meaning from this movie is probably not a great idea.
Also, when he kills Scorpion, he says "for the Lin Kuei" in English.
Yep.
Yeah, he does.
Well, and that's why part of the movie where it's okay, so this is the old school, old Japanese bits where, Scorpion's an old Japanese samurai or whatever. We're going to get that in the old times, which means it would be pretty weird if he said in English later, "Get over here." Unless he learned English in hell.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what
I mean, if there's anywhere you would learn English.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's fair.
So those two guys, great stuff. Bihan's from the Warrior Show, which is good. Just started watching. Which we talked about a teeny tiny bit last week. I don't remember that guy's name. I gotta find it, but yeah, I did like him in this. So you got him.
Yes.
You got Cole. We'll skip Cole. Then you got Jackson Briggs, baby.
Yeah,
he's fun, right?
I guess he's a little more personality than Cole, because charisma, I guess, but by a hair, Nando.
I think he's got the schlocky action thing down. I think he's got you're a good fighter, Cole, but you can't win a fight because I'm cool and tough. Whatever.
He has some of it. I don't think he's great at it, but he's acceptable at it.
He's definitely better than last Jack. So I want to compare some characters to their previous versions.
Okay.
I think he is the best Jack so far.
All right.
I mean, his competition is Mortal Kombat Annihilation,
yes,
and guy in the movie for 3 seconds. So it's not hard.
So it's gonna get a little tricky once we get to the other one. So then we meet. So Jax and Bi-Han get in a fight. Bi-Han rips Jax's arms off. Amazing. Raiden
and then just doesn't kill him and leaves, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the monks who spend their entire lives living in this cave in a random undisclosed location are there and get him, but don't get anyone else, even though they're in the same city.
Right, and Raiden seems to be able to just teleport wherever he wants for whatever reason, if it's important to the Mortal Kombating that may happen in the future. So he does this. He goes out of his way to get Jax, but he does not give a shit when all of his other little pupils are being attacked by the mutant reptile monster.
But at least he's a god, so fine.
Yeah, I mean, Raiden has a weird, kind of ineffectual, not ineffectual, that's not what it is, but he has a weird relationship with the whole tournament that I think almost works, kind of like Gandalf, where it's like, if we put you in charge and, let you go loose, you could probably kill everybody if we wanted, but also, you're kind of weirdo, and you're not the main character of this movie, so you just hang back.
Okay.
Important later. I mean, he's definitely not Gandalf because he's Dumbledore, because he does the thing where he picks up the baby in the beginning of the movie, much like Harold Potter. But then, so Jax tells young Kohan to get rid of his family for a while and drive to Gary, Indiana, I want to say.
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
Gary,
Why?
Indiana, from The Music Man or whatever.
Why?
One of the 3 settings of this movie, Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. And we'll return. It's an important place. And we go to a trailer park in Gary, Indiana, where I guess the trailer is next to a bunch of, those things, shipping containers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seems like that'd be out of place in a trailer park. How'd
they
get
clear?
in there?
It feels like it is a plot of land, like where a house would be, but it just has a trailer on it.
That makes sense.
Because it has a singular address.
Yeah, that's true. And he has to hop a fence to get to that house. But yeah, so Cole goes and meets Sonia Blade.
Yes.
What do we think of her?
Of all the characters in Mortal Kombat, she's definitely one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Of all the Sonya Blades, she's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I would say she's maybe the middle of the pack. I think I like her a little bit less than Veronica Vaughn, but a little bit more than Annihilation Sonya Blade.
Veronica Vaughn is not the first Sonya Blade, isn't it? Like Bridget something?
Well, Veronica Vaughn is her name in Billy Madison, the character. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, she's like, you know what? To be fair, I think Veronica Vaughn in Billy Madison in Mortal Kombat 1, she was not bad. But I think this one had some fun lines. She had an edge to her.
I guess.
I have a sky high problem with Sonya Blade in this movie.
Oh, please share.
What is that?
Yeah.
Where her conflict is that she feels bad she doesn't have the special boy marking or the special boy blood.
Yeah.
And then the solution to the problem is that she just gets the special boy blood and then everything's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get that.
She's a good soldier, you know. She's like, it's funny. I think the arcs for a lot of these guys are just like, you know what, we got to do a Mortal Kombat, and that's the rules, and here's how we got to do it, and let's do it. And then by the end, it's like, never mind, we cheat these. So it's like, I don't want to kill Kano because he's an earthly combatant, and that would be wrong. And then by the end, it's like, nope, I guess if I kill him, I get his competition mark, and I get to be part of the... Like, that is a huge swing in Mortal Kombat tournament, because the tournament hasn't started yet, and we went from having an outworld combatant to an earth combatant.
True, yeah.
That's awesome for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Is the tournament even still happening, though? Doing it. I don't understand what... This movie doesn't really make any sense.
Oh, yeah, so... well, I agree, because we haven't really talked what the movie's about, because to be fair, for the first, I want to say half hour. It's a 2-hour movie, right? So I automatically hate it. So for the first half hour, it's just stuff happening. And then we finally get a little insight into the villain's plan. And the villain's plan is bananas crazy and doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in terms of, if he could get away with it, he probably should do this. Definitely fucking cheat.
Well,
if no one's going to stop
Listen,
you.
So I'm all for cheating. You know me. Yeah. I am extremely pro-cheating. I just feel like after they first establish there's a tournament, fighters are chosen. If we kill the fighters, then they don't have any fighters, and we win. I'm like, okay, I'm with you. And then everything after that is just constant Calvin ball, where people keep making up rules. And I'm like, what is even happening anymore?
Yeah, and, well, like, even on its face, I feel like the Outworld people, like the invaders, they're like, okay, Earthrealm has lost 9 in a row, 1 more, we're good. So we're going to kill the competition, even though the conceit is they are bad. We would probably beat them in Mortal Kombat straight up, and if we don't interfere, they probably don't get their powers and we win anyway.
Well,
but
maybe they've never won a Mortal Kombat fairly. Maybe every single one they've won has been via cheatery.
I guess.
They show up to every Mortal Kombat with all the marks, and it's like the Elder Gods are like, we gave these out fairly, and then the Outworld guys are like, no, you didn't, and the Elder Gods are like, did we? You know what? We'll see next time. We'll give it another shot.
Who's to say?
Yeah, it's
been a
been a
while,
while,
after
actually.
450 years of them doing that, the Elder Gods would notice something.
I mean, the Elder Gods they blow. They suck in all the games, and they
That's
have
true.
they have the right energy here, which is they don't even kind of exist.
They're never on screen. We never see them.
I kind of expected a scene where Raiden goes to check on them, but they don't even have that.
We get to see floaty water, floaty earth, and floaty fire.
Well, that's something. So in Mortal Kombat 11, that is the one that I played recently, which is the most recent of the games, Raiden goes a couple times to whatever, I don't know, like the spirit dimension to go just plead with the Elder Gods. Please, guys, there's rules, right? Can you follow him once? I don't want to all have all my guys die. And they're all like sitting in chairs. It is very Guardians of the Universe, like Green Lantern. So I think you could easily do that. You just have to decide what they look like, and I don't think they want to do that yet. But yeah, they're just like ineffectual gods who suck, and I think that's fine. I like the idea that I think someone, I forget who it is, someone I follow on Twitter, maybe it's Dan Kibblesmith or something, was like, the whole movie is about a guy who is trying to cheat on Mortal Kombat so that he doesn't have a Mortal Kombat, and he just ends up making a Mortal Kombat anyway. Which I think is fine, because I think the idea of Mortal Kombat is stupid. I think the tournament part is the worst part.
But them's the rules, Nando.
But
exactly. So I'm fine with him being like, we're going to do one-on-one fights that aren't a tournament so that we can have it be a movie instead.
But the thing is about that is that I don't care if you don't have a tournament in a Mortal Kombat movie. Like, I don't care. I don't feel that strongly about tournaments. The part that I think is weird is that Sonya brings Cole to her conspiracy theory house where she lays out all the things and it's like, the plot of this movie is we're going to have a tournament, and then they don't have a tournament is weird.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I understand that. I just don't. Again, I just think the Mortal Kombat tournament is dumb, and
that's fine. I'm saying completely neutral on the Mortal Kombat tournament as an idea. Like, you cannot do it, but then don't tell me that there's going to be one in the movie, and then don't do it.
Yeah. Oh, God,
I mean,
it's tough.
Yeah, I can only think of, like, suitable rationale is, and what we kind of get from this movie is, maybe we're setting up the MKU, the Mortal Kombat universe, and for that we need to set up that Mortal Kombat will happen at some point, just TBD, guys.
Not since Alita Battle Angel has a movie ended pointing at the sequel sign so hard.
Well, what's his name? The director of this, or somebody behind it, said that the plan for this movie, were it to be 3 movies, is first movie pre-Mortal Kombat, second movie, actual Mortal Kombat. Third movie, post-Mortal Kombat. I think that's... I don't know. I think if I was making a Mortal Kombat movie, I would do everything I could to avoid actually having the combatants do it. But that being said, I think you do have to say, like, but this is what a Mortal Kombat is. So this is why there are stakes. Because otherwise it is like, well, why aren't they just taking over Earthrealm? They seem to be capable of that.
Annihilation, right? Why don't the bad guys just come on in and say, fuck off?
Yeah, I mean,
you
tough.
could say that what the Mortal Kombat is that some people get marked, and then you just have to hunt each other down, and whichever side has all their side die first loses.
Ooh, it's like Hunger Games style. I
And
like that.
then the movie can proceed as it does, where like they have to train and get good at it, but the bad guys are showing up and being like, we're gonna kill you. But then no one promises me a tournament at any point.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's interesting, because they already break a lot of the game rules in this movie anyway. I feel like these movies, and I would say this for all three of them, probably feel like they have to conform to some of the Mortal Kombat tropes too much, and I wish they could feel freedom from that. Like, just put in some characters and references and fan service, and don't feel like you have to make your own story, kind of like Diggins said. So, I mean, yeah, I think that would make these a lot better.
Like, okay, so let's talk about the rules of this Mortal Kombat, because we have kind of danced around it a little bit, but Sonya explains them to Cole in this moment. A Mortal Kombat is a competition, like it usually is, and it has been in the other movies, which is, one would assume a tournament. However, with the tournament in a deadly tournament, by the end, everyone is dead but one guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would, that doesn't work in a movie with two characters we don't want to see killed that have to be in it. But either way, that is what it is. It's a historical thing. There have been 10 of them, or there have been many, but if you win 10 in a row, you get to conquer the other one, which I guess, you get to conquer them, but you don't get to do it just you don't show up at the White House and be like, I'm in charge of Earth now. You just get to, try, right?
Yeah. They could still win the invasion.
Okay, yeah. So, I guess that's where the next movie will probably end then, is right with, the Earth realm being invaded because of Mortal Kombat being
just
lost.
You mean how the first movie ended with Earthrealm being invaded?
No, the opposite. I think this one has to end with our Earthrealm losing Mortal Kombat 10 instead of winning it to let an invasion happen, as opposed to we win Mortal Kombat and we still get an invasion. But either way, those are the rules, and the way that you are a competitor, because in the first movie and in the games, it's just whoever shows up, and it does feel like Lord Raiden is kind of able to draft his dream team of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, it's not that. How does this work?
So Diggins alluded to it, but it's kind of like a sky-high deal where you are born with a mark, or you can, or not born, you get a mark, or...
Mostly you just...
Yeah,
one just appears on you, and then you can get it from someone else by killing them.
Yeah, which is interesting, because if I accidentally hit Liu Kang with my car, do I get the mark?
Yes.
How does the killing
Henry
work?
Ford's corpse gets the mark,
right? Yeah. Can my car enter Mortal Kombat?
Or then did Cole's dad have a mark as well?
I would assume, because passed through the bloodline, right?
Does his daughter have one? Does Sub-Zero want to kill his daughter too? Could she fight in the Mortal Kombat?
She will. She will fight in Mortal Kombat, I assure you.
But I don't know, because it's in the beginning of the way that it seems to be explained with Kano and all these guys is just I was just fighting a guy and I killed him and it turned out I had a mark now, so I'm part of the Mortal Kombat.
Really good Kano.
Slur.
It's pretty good Kano.
Yeah, that's a fantastic Kano.
Thank you. I practiced my my Kano impression mostly by spitting at things in my apartment. I hit all of them.
Send Nando Kano gifts if you think it was the best Kano impersonation ever.
Yeah.
Nando, could you tell me really quick that you've studied all my moves?
I've studied all your moves.
Wow, it's uncanny.
Yeah, all right. So he has that backstory. It kind of seems like the way this would work for everyone but Cole, or with all the information we're presented, except for the Cole information, is you just wake up one day and you have the mark. It's fuck, I guess I'm doing a Mortal Kombat. And there's a year between when you get it and when the Mortal Kombat starts. So that's when people can kind of trade marks, or when you can start learning your arcana. But Cole breaks that by being related to Scorpion, who, as far as we know, was not in a Mortal Kombat either. He has nothing to do with Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Besides that Raiden, a character from Mortal Kombat, seemed to know who he was.
Also, it's more than a year, because Jax killed that guy in Brazil 7 years ago, and Liu Kang had it since he finished his training.
Oh, sure. Well, I guess
and Kung Lao, I think, had it even longer than Liu Kang.
Well, it's once in a generation, so there is some sort of time frame in, a 30-year gap, and so maybe it's 10 years, whatever, but it makes sense except for Cole, where it's well, how long have you had this? Were you born with it? Because the kid said you were born with it. So is that when the next Mortal Kombat period starts? When you, little Cole, are born?
Or is this thing not even connected to Mortal Kombat?
If someone kills him and takes it, does it disappear from his family? Does his daughter still have one?
Well, the bloodline has to continue. If you're born with it, then that's it, right? You get it.
Well, but it's also a magic birthmark, DJ, so...
Well, I assume there's rules, Diggins.
I mean, yeah, you would assume that. You would be wrong. But I do think the problem with Cole, and I'll give you this, Diggins, and I think him having I think you could get away with a lot of this with him just being reincarnated Scorpion, who was not killed in a Mortal Kombat event, but should have had a Mortal Kombat mark and then gets it. Like, the Bloodline stuff and Destiny stuff being his family legacy is pretty stupid. And it does... So I guess this isn't exactly what you were saying, Tiggs, but I do think it breaks the rules of Mortal Kombat, where they're a little bit more fun if it is just like, yep, new guys. Because in the end of this movie, the character's like, let's find the next ones. And it's like, well, were they born with them too? Because you should have found them before. And it seems like Raiden could just globetrot and pick all the guys up. But he didn't. Why didn't he?
I don't know, because he's lazy.
Yeah, his stick is broken, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, yeah. Yeah. So we meet Sonya, we meet Kano. We did like Kano. He was great, except for that he was way too much, and also he got someone described it as he gets his power from racism. And that's fine. He's a bad guy, and we know from the beginning he is going to get murdered by Sonya. But yeah,
I think I would have been pro Kano if we had about 1/2 to 1/3 as much Kano.
Yeah, I think so too. Although, I do like that we just not only didn't get a Kano redemption arc, but he just did decide. Like, he made a really quick calculation in his head, and he was like, you know what? It's better to be bad. I guess I'll do that. And that's what he did.
He's like,
that's
all hold on. Nobody told me that teaming up with you guys was an option. Where do I sign up?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. I figured I had to be from your whatever planet. But no, I guess this guy's from my house. I know this guy from earlier in my life. So, yeah. Can you get me a reference on my, application to be an Outworld murder guy? Because then that'd be sick. But yeah, so Kano and Sonya Blade, they fight Reptile. That's fun. I like that fight a lot.
It was a good fight.
So again,
the fight is cool, but it's a Mortal Kombat Annihilation tier intro, where it's just like, bad guy shows up and it's like, I'm Reptile, now I'm going to fight you. And that's it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you monster. It was the best intro. You had I would say it had Mortal Kombat Annihilation energy, and that for a while there was nothing on screen and characters were just kind of doing wrestling flies in one direction. I just got hit by an invisible thing.
It was a horror movie for half a second.
Yeah.
So I will say, while I did like that, I think a lot of this movie suffered from a similar theme, and it's that for most of Sonya Blade's fights, they're completely in darkness, and I hate that. Stop putting things in darkness. Show me the light.
Yeah.
It did help for the flare with this one. So that was kind of neat. But her fight with Kano at the end, oh my god, you couldn't see shit. It was so dark. So didn't love that. Anyway.
Yeah, the whole bit with I think the reptile stuff works in darkness because it is supposed to be like a horror movie. You can't see this guy.
Yeah, I get that one.
This was another thing where we started watching the fight, and I was like, "This is really cool," because he does say Shang Tsung, who we meet earlier, is like, "Send the reptilian size axe or whatever to kill him." So you're like, "Oh, that's Reptile. He's gonna be." You kind of know him from the movie. I feel like it helps when the character's introduced. Just almost like if there's someone in the theater, they should just stand up and go, "This is someone from the game." Okay, continue.
Yeah.
This is
that
a thing.
Really
I know
help.
this sounds dumb, but just go with it. It's kind of fun.
Is it okay though?
God, there's so many things in this movie that don't make any sense if you don't know that that's what it's like in the game.
Yeah.
But isn't it just fine for some people to not be in on the joke because this movie doesn't really care if you are or aren't? Because at least from the plot standpoint, the things that are happening are going to happen, and you'll figure it out. The
person I was watching this just didn't know. They were like, this guy's for the game. I was like, no, he's new. He's like a main character. I think he's related to Scorpion or something. And then Reptile showed up, and it's like, I think I remember him from the games, but isn't he another one of the guys? I'm like, no. In the future games, I kind of turned him into a lizard man, but that is one of the ones from the original game. So I think it's a little bit helpful. Especially, I think it helps when someone shows up and it's the Batwings girl, and it's like, is that important? I've never seen her before in my life. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't matter. Neither does the guy with the hammer. I do want to say, like, in the movie at the moment, I don't want to, like, ruin the entire experience for people, but I do want to go, like, that's a guy. Whenever they show a picture of Nightwolf, that's from one of the other ones. That's the bad guy from the whole one. We'll see him in a couple movies, probably. That's probably Baraka. Who knows? Because there's a lot of pictures of guys. We see a lot of...
We do. Sony's been doing a full-on investigation mode.
Yeah, big Wikipedia deep dive on the on the Mortal Kombat wiki, because she has a picture of Nightwolf, which, I mean, I guess he did help us win one in the past.
Yes, he was our champion one time.
Nice.
Thanks for helping.
That should mean we're good, right? I guess he is dead. He was our champion, but
right?
He lost.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably had a string of, like, bad champions, and, like, that's not great, so, you know.
Like the Great Kung Lao?
Yeah. I guess, so only 2 Earth champions we know of, or at least good guy champions. I guess there's 3 that are alluded to. We have Nightwolf, right, who we see pretty much see a picture of, and you can set him in whatever time frame you want, it's fine. We have the Great Kung Lao and all the Destiny stuff, and he is in the games the one that won a few of them and then lost, and that started the Goro, like, reign of 9 Mortal Kombat, so he's important. We also, do you guys remember what the other good guy that's half referenced in this movie is?
No.
Ooh.
It's a thing we pass. Like, we walk by something and it's like, oh, I guess that one's in it.
Oh, is it Katana's fan blades?
Yeah, Katana's fan blades are in Raiden's temple, and I don't know what that means. Because it's not like that's a passed down family thing. That's just her thing. But maybe she's currently ruling part of Outworld or something.
It probably means nothing, because these little Easter egg cameos never mean anything.
Yeah, if they're making the big MKU, then some of it could matter at some point.
The MCU had lots of Easter eggs that ended up being completely different when they actually showed up.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I think there's some in this where you can go, like, okay, so that is the history of this. Like, you can expect we probably won't see a Nightwolf, and there was one of those. We probably will see a Shang Tsung eventually, or excuse me, a Shao Kahn eventually, and we see a picture of him. Just pure, like, right out of the video game. I want to say other potential champions. We see a Baraka or some Tarkatan or whatever. Tarkatan, excuse me. And then... do we see, like, a statue of Kotal Khan or something like that?
Yeah, there's like a little statue of Kotal Khan in her conspiracy theory room.
Right.
Which, I have no idea how that would fit in, since Kotal Khan is from Outworld.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Outworld, like maybe the Mayan gods were based on, or Aztec gods or whatever he is, were based on the Outworldian alien race that landed, and Kotal Khan was banished from Outworld after he was beat up by Shao Kahn. I don't know. But yeah, so we do see a couple of them. Do you guys remember the other really, I would say this one kind of almost shocked me as someone who kind of knows Mortal Kombat stuff, Easter egg that's thrown in there?
Not me, no.
Shinnok's amulet?
Yeah, they just have that. DJ, like, the Shinnok, we kind of explained this last week, he's in the other one, but in the games, he's like the Thanos of that universe.
Yep.
He has that amulet, that, like, one that Kano tries to steal. He almost palms it. That's like the fucking the whole Infinity Gauntlet, and Kano just takes it.
That's how he gets summoned to other realms, because he's supposed to be trapped in Netherrealm.
Mm-hmm. So I guess they've already defeated Shinnok. Although at this point, did the villains steal any of that stuff? I don't remember.
No, the only thing we see anyone take is Kano takes the Shinnok amulet, and then Liu Kang tells him to put it back.
Right, yeah. So
that's a god-level amulet. What are you doing, you greasy-fingered fuck?
It is really weird. It's almost like a certain show, which I will not mention by name, but where there is a moment where there are a lot of scrubby villains and then one really, really, really big deal. And
I know
it's
what
like,
you're
he
talking
doesn't
about.
really belong in this group with the rest of them. Like, that fan is like a gun, and that amulet is like an atom bomb. It's like... weird that it's across the hall from it. But anyway.
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?
That's the same thing.
You're talking about how in the Sky High secret chamber room, how they have the pacifier from King Baby or whatever the heck that villain's name was.
Oh, God.
Well, even though King Baby is so much stronger than all the other villains from Sky High.
That's right. And they have the orb, the robot orb, like eye thing. What if the bad guy from Sky High, who we can assume built that robot as well, what if that robot just took over, you know? Like, what if it killed the commander
end of the
in Jetstream,
Incredibles?
and it was like, oh, all right. Yes, the
So
robot's
you want the movie to end like The Incredibles?
Yeah, kind of. Except it kills all the Incredibles, because the kid doesn't have his powers yet. You can cut him in half with the robot.
That's true.
Pretty solid plan, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So they kill Reptile. What'd you think of the Reptile fight?
I thought was fine. Too dark, but, overall good. I give this one a B+.
So his invisibility is kind of part of it, you know?
Yeah.
I think that one gets the excuse for me. I agree. Some of the fights were a little too dark, but that one I was like fine with because he was supposed to be like
and
a
the
horror
flare
movie monster. Yeah, and the flare, and you could kind of half see some of his body sometimes where it was like, oh, maybe he got shot, so there's a little bit of extra skin showing. How about when she threw a knife at Kano's leg? That was fun.
Dude, all right, she throws a, I don't know, 13-inch knife like right into Kano's leg right above the knee. That would have separated his knee from the rest of his leg. Like, there's tendons in there and shit. Like, that was... I'm like, how is he just not like, oh my god, I can't feel below my thigh?
Like, he has the special boy blood, DJ.
I guess, man. But, like, I saw that. I'm like,
Australian blood.
Have it be a smaller knife. Like, I just thought that was fucking bonkers. Like, that... It's legit like a giant Bowie knife just right above the knee. That's like how you just do surgery on someone's leg. It's like, oh, and I've separated the knee from the fucking muscle. It's like, okay.
Can you imagine how furious people would have been if she threw his knife at him and it was a little knife? And they would have been like, that's not a knife. This is a knife. In Australian Twitter. Am I right, fellas? Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good. I do think, is this something that was questionable to me a little bit? As someone who has played recent games when Sonya Blade is relatively established, but also you do a little past Sonya Blade too, her main thing is she has guns and she has knives. So, like, that's not completely out of her thing. But she also has those, like, wrist gauntlets. Those are, like, a physical weapon that she holds, not, like, a innate power of her own. Is the Blade thing just something she picked up in this movie because it's her name?
I'll go with a solid maybe.
Right? Because I don't think that's that big of a part of the character. Whereas, like, every fight she does in this movie is like knife, 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 knife.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's Bullseye in this movie. It's pretty awesome, but yeah.
I thought it was cool when Kano ripped the guy's heart out.
That was
awesome.
That
was cool, wasn't it?
It was cool.
And he said, Kano wins. And then said, you fucking beauty, because he says bad language words. That's pretty good.
How dare he?
Yeah, right.
Send him to jail.
I guess Reptile's not a Mortal Kombat combatant because Kano doesn't get a second brand of like a tattoo thing.
Well, it seems like if someone who has one already kills someone who has one, then just nothing happens.
Well, like, yeah, I guess, right? And I guess that kind of almost makes it a tournament but you would want to get, if you win, you'd want some sort of protection. Maybe you would want a second one. And it's just like by the end, some guy has 50, is covered in tattoos. He looks like Post Malone, just dragons all over his face. It's like, hey,
and you gotta kill him 50 times before he dies.
Yeah. But, yeah, because then you kind of figure if Reptile was in play, Sonya Blade would have just got him. Got her tattoo from him, but she does not, which is interesting. I did like that it was an Invisible Man fight, and I like that the characters immediately knew how to fight an Invisible Man. I'm very proud of them. It's not as hard as the movies make it look.
That was an invisible man. It was an invisible reptile who drips acid blood and also is not perfectly invisible. So I don't think that qualifies.
Well, but they still did. They used Invisible Man tactics. They stabbed him with the flare to mark his location. So that is they used one of the million Invisible Man fighting tactics to destroy his invisibility advantage.
All right, Nando, let's go. Tell us how you would beat Reptile in this scenario.
This game exactly in that way.
They were very lucky that Reptile decided that he didn't need to use his acid breath or his claws at all to fight them.
Kano's got a little clawed.
That's true. He got big claws.
Other than the one time he claws Kano, he didn't use his claws or his acid spit at all. Because they probably would have been in real trouble if he did.
Well, I mean, he did the tongue thing. He did lickety-tongue to do a come over here. So he really has a lot of control because that lickety-tongue didn't also cut Kano's head off with its acid like residual acid from the other day. So that's interesting. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, it's great. I don't remember. Kano was pretty good.
It's a decent scene.
He pulled the heart out. Yeah. That was
it's like one of the better scenes. The movie certainly goes downhill from there. Once we're out of Gary, Indiana, oh boy.
So then we go.
It's the first time anyone's ever said that, but yeah.
I got one more thing on this scene before we leave. So
okay,
Sonia like tries to recruit Kano. I don't know why. I guess because he asked the mark, so it's like, well, I guess I got to fucking recruit you. And he goes, or she goes, name your price. He's like, I don't have a price. And then he's trying to leave, and then she goes, $2 million. I'll give you $2 million if you come fight with us. And he goes, make it 3 and you got a deal. And she says, okay. And he doesn't ask for any payment up front, any proof, any nothing. He's just cool to go with it. Which, like, you know, later I guess it works out in his favor, but in the moment you're like, wow, Kano, you're real dumb. You're about to get fleeced.
I mean, I feel like she didn't know this, but she could have been like, you'll get superpowers if you go, and they won't let you in if I'm not there because you suck. So do you want a laser beam? Then they could give you one.
Also, the reason they need him is because he somehow, coincidentally, is like the one person who knows how to find the Raiden temple.
Well, yeah, he rained guns out of Raiden's temple, but it's not like an island. Like it's not a place you could go that would. It's just a random nothing. There's nothing there. It would be an awful place to run guns out of.
He didn't say he was there. He said that he was in that area and the locals would always talk about it.
Oh, okay. Very good. See, this is a good movie. But then they go there and then they meet. Who do their wandering eyes do appear?
I'm trying to think who it's first.
Liu Kang.
Liu Kang is first. Yeah.
Lucifer Kang. He is... Boy, speaking of people that's hair is not as good as the time it was in the first movie, his hair is not nearly as good as the 1995 Liu Kang.
No,
easily bottom tier Liu Kang.
What'd you say?
I said easily bottom tier Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Although this Liu Kang has a great intro with shooting some inoffensive fire. And by that I mean it's the fire that you get hit with fire, but it doesn't burn and then your clothes light on fire. It's just like, you know, getting a big ball thrown at you. It's like, ow.
You ever do that? Somebody throws some fire at you and you're like, fuck.
Oh, yes.
I was like getting punched.
Yeah, exactly. I hate how the fire felt like getting hit.
Yeah.
Some weird fire.
I'm always saying this.
People are throwing fire at Diggins all the time. Just day in, day out. Throwing fire at him.
And he never got the message that he's supposed to do a Mortal Kombat. Diggins, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but
did you check yourself for a symbol?
Yeah, that is a dragon.
Look, you guys know I'm very sensitive about the dragon birthmark on my knee.
Okay, well,
what if it was on your forehead? That would suck. You know, all the fighters would know where you are. You wouldn't be able to take any selfies.
Or your back. Like, what if you never knew it was there?
I mean, I feel like you'd find it eventually, right? It would only be awkward when, like, Jax is like, hey, you got a birthmark? And you're like, yeah, hold on a second. Take your shirt off.
It's like, I got one, but you don't want to see it.
Hey, really Jax is no stranger to people not wearing shirts.
I appreciate it. There's a lot of shirtlessness in this movie, and it's all warranted. There's one character whose superpower is he gets a shirt, and it's the worst one.
Oh, my God.
Get the shirt out of here, fellas. So, yeah. Kung Lao shows up as well. Very fun.
Oh, man. Kung Lao shows up in the most Mortal Kombat Annihilation way.
Yes.
Well, and I think you're going to say Mortal Kombat game way, because he appears in the game like that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I say Mortal Kombat Annihilation way, I mean how, like, every character in that movie just, like, jumps over a pile of rocks and says, I'm Melina, and now we're going to fight. And that's it.
Fair. That's fair.
That's how they get introduced. What
were you going to say, DJ?
No, just that's how he appears in the game, right? He like pops out of his cool little hat. And it's like, that's fun.
Well, and there's like it's hard to explain to people that haven't seen the movie or haven't played the game. It's hard to explain to people who haven't done both. How much there's like this weird floaty weightlessness when he pops out of it. That is perfect.
Yes.
That is just like what happens in the game, and they managed to get that into the movie, which I love. I do think Kano, who starts shitting on the hat pretty quickly, does not give it the respect it deserves for being a teleporting hat. And he kind of treats it like it's just a spiky frisbee, but it's a fucking portal hat.
And it only comes up once is the shitty part. He never does it again, I don't think.
Yeah, listen, as a Kung Lao fan, as someone who a couple weeks ago said Kung Lao is my favorite one, and then also was like, but they're going to kill him in this, so, don't get too attached. I think they got all the important parts of that character out before something else happened, and I was fine with it.
Okay.
I'll take what I can get. I mean, I was on an emotional roller coaster at one point in this movie, so we'll get to that. But yeah, so we got Kung Lao, we got Liu Kang, we got Raiden. What do you think of Raiden? Young guy.
Well, top tier Raiden in terms of racism, bottom tier Raiden in terms of performance.
What? You're saying racism in terms of having less racism or more racism?
Top tier in terms of being the least racist Raiden.
Yes, okay. That's fair.
I will say, I thought that Raiden was a void of any kind of interestingness. I don't know if that's what they were going for because it's Raiden, but, I feel like if we could have had a Christopher Lambert but not racist, I would have been super down. So,
I mean, I'm sure they would have loved to get like a Jackie Chan or like an actor who both.
Oh, that would have been sick.
But Raiden doesn't do anything in this movie, so it could have been anybody. But like some actor who's like also like, I mean, you could pay Jackie Chan to just stand around and kind of overact, and it would be great. But I kind of almost figure with Raiden, it's like just look like Lord Raiden, put on the hat and stuff, and do glowy eyes. That's it. And maybe you'll be in the next one, or maybe we'll recast you with someone that's a little bit more charismatic. I mean, I don't think Raiden's that important, honestly, to me as someone like Kung Lao or Liu Kang. Like, I think Kung Lao is fine. I think Liu Kang has like a little. It's not just that his hair isn't as good. He's got like a baby face. He doesn't look as imposing as original Liu Kang looks from the first movie.
Okay.
So Raiden as a downgrade to me doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is true for Mortal Kombat 1 and even Annihilation to some extent, but he is only there to be the force that keeps the Outworld from just destroying the Earthrealm people immediately. So,
I mean,
and
theoretically,
he has to explain some things.
Yeah.
Theoretically, he would also be the force keeping the team together, which he kind of is in the first movie, but he's in no way, shape, or form that in this one.
He tells one of them to fuck off.
Well, but in this... Yeah, but when he does it in this, it feels like it's like I'll tell you to fuck off, but I know that's what will teach you your arcana, because he's not like, it's like, later on, it's not like, Cole is like, Raiden, bring me back. Raiden's like, he has learned the lesson that I plan to teach him. So he does have that, like, Dumbledore energy, where it's like, how much is he in charge, and how much is he acting like he's in charge when he gets something randomly right? And he's like, oh, yeah.
Raiden's
you landed in the temple, just as I expected.
Cole, I've spent many days with you, and the only personality trait I can discern is that you have a family. So I'm sending you back to them. Maybe that will activate your arcana.
That's great.
I will not have this Cole slander. It's just... His arcana should be everything. Because
you agree with us that he's a charismatic void and that family's all that. Look, you shouldn't...
I don't think he's a void. I think he's nothing. I don't think... as a void, I think you could have a version of him like a... Clint Eastwood, Scott Eastwood's son, whatever his name is. It is Scott, right?
It is Scott.
Yeah, it is
Is
Scott.
that his son or his grandson? How old is that kid?
I don't know. I thought it was his son, but...
He's got to be 30, and Clint Eastwood's got to be 90. And I'm not saying 6-year-old Clint Eastwood isn't popping babies out left and right, because that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying it seems like he could. It seems like a Cole Young situation where it could be both. It could be 2 generations separated or 1 generation separated, and I would not. Either one is acceptable. Anyway, I think that guy is a void where you watch him on screen and you're like, Jesus Christ, I am losing years of my life watching him. Whereas with Cole, I think he is enough. I think he's like a neutral. He's like a nice sip of water in between a bunch of yummy drinks and food and stuff.
Scott Eastwood is Clint Eastwood's son and is 35 years old, which means that Clint Eastwood had him when he was 55.
Man,
nice.
You go, Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's 90?
He's super old. Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. I knew he was old, but I didn't have him at 90.
He's been old for a while, too. Like Gran Torino and $1 Million Baby and stuff were like mid-2000s.
Those came out forever ago. Yeah, you're right. $1
Million Baby was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, and I think
and he was
11
pretty
was
old
Torino. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember how Gran Turismo came out? We were all just like, "Yep, this is okay."
I mean,
this
it
is
was
totally
okay
fine.
in terms of, like, he is an unlikable jerk, and this was what Clint Eastwood always wanted to do his whole life. Like, you were almost like, just let him do these so he doesn't bother any of the rest of the people in the world. But then he did that weird thing with the chair. Anyway, thank God he's not in this. Although maybe he could be in the next one. Who knows? You know, we haven't seen a certain character yet, but we know he's making movies. Yeah, I think we meet all the characters in, like, we've talked about everybody in Lord Raiden's temple. They do a lot of fighting. They all get their superpowers. Kano gets his by racism because he's yelling at everybody during dinner. And it turns out that was Liu Kang's plan, but also, like, was it, though? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Also, like, Raiden, like, so, okay. Raiden has electricity powers, right? Let's talk about some of the powers. Raiden has electricity. He is the god of, like, Earth Realm. Mm-hmm. He's not like the Earth, like, lightning god. He's just our guy.
Yeah.
He is a god of lightning, but he is also the protector of Earth Realm.
Right. Liu Kang has fire powers. Mm-hmm. Kung Lao has hat.
Yep, Kung Lao has hat powers.
Yeah. And all of this so far consistent with the game. Kano. What does Kano actually... What is in the game? He always has robot parts, right? That's where the lasers come from.
He's just a cyborg man, and because he's a cyborg man, he has lasers.
Yeah, so like I feel like the Arcana thing. If we're as much as like I agree, Cole could use some work. I think all this like find your power stuff is the most superfluous to me.
See, this is part of why the movie doesn't work for me, because it feels like an attempt to make things a little more grounded, where it's like everything's realistic until you have your Arcana, which is your magic power, and that's where all the weird stuff comes from. But like it just feels weird. It's like, why isn't Kano just a cyborg man who has lasers? Right. Because he's a cyborg, and Sonia Blade has like military wrist things that shoot energy blasts, and Jax has big dumb robot arms.
I mean, there has to be some middle ground between he gets his arms torn off in graphic detail and then slowly regrows robot arms versus the first time we see him, he has just grafted robot arms onto his body for no reason.
Why not?
There's got to be some middle version of that.
But in this instance, I don't even remember. How does he get, I'll call them robot arms V1?
I think that's his Arcana, is he can grow little metal arms.
No.
Literally,
I refuse to accept
DJ,
that.
Literally, Sonia just shows up at his bedside. He has no arms. Next time she shows up at his bedside, he has little robot arms. No one tells us where they came from. No one asks.
Okay, so I thought I, like, slept through something. It was just like, whatever. They'll tell me what I got wrong. But I'm glad to know that there was not even... There could have been a line, man, this really is U.S. government work, huh? Pieces of shit. Like, that would have been fun. Because, like, Jax has, like, a couple good lines that work and are fun, but the movie never leans into what it could be, just total camp, and I believe it would be better. But, yeah, just give me something. So... Okay,
or just have Kano come around to be like, what's your Arcana? You can grow little metal bones? Fuck you, your Arcana sucks. And then, like, something about, like, basketball because of racism, because that's how Kano works.
Right.
Besides that, like, have someone say your Arcana is bad.
Oh, don't forget to sprinkle in a little bit of homophobia. You gotta sprinkle in a little bit of homophobia.
He says that about the hat one, but the hat one is cool. But this one does suck until it is awesome. Let's see. I mean,
but is it an Arcana, or do the monks give him robot arms? No one ever makes this clear.
I don't think so, because I feel like if the monks were going to give him robot arms, it would also give. Because this is the other thing I was expecting. So, Kano gets his eye scratched by Reptile, and it's like, oh, is that part of it? And I'm like, yeah, he's gonna get a robot eye. It's pretty cool. And then he doesn't. And
I know
he
just dies. Yeah.
Sorry, I guess I knew Jax was getting robot parts, like because I saw, the trailer where he has robot arms. So I just assumed the monks would also have some sort of robot something. But no, they just fucking That's why I think that I think in the presence of no Kano robot parts, the Jax thing has to be, and they do grow like more like organically metally than like they usually are in the game where they just look like Colossus arms.
Right,
where they're just like metal plating or something like that. But so I think that is his Arcana. Lucky for him, considering he's the one that got his arm snapped off. Maybe that's also other guys' Arcanas, and it's just like, I haven't got my arm snapped off, so I can't regrow my arms. But just you wait.
I just had to assume that the U.S. government shipped them because they work for the government. Like, it wouldn't be insane if that were the case.
Like, do they, though? They're former special forces, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're not currently working for the government in their trailer in Gary, Indiana.
It's never really made clear if they're still in the army or not.
Right.
I would guess not if they're traipsing around the world doing Mortal Kombats, but I don't know. Maybe that's their job.
He's brandishing around a big, like, grenade launcher, too, which seems like something the government would do, but also seems like something that just would be handy for Mortal Kombat stuff. But,
you just have it because, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Either way, Jax is great. What else? I don't remember.
Well, we haven't talked about much of the rogues yet, so we can talk about that.
Team Villain.
Yeah, the rogues. I feel like that's the thing that I feel like people made fun of this movie for more than Colby and Boring is the silliness of one of the rogues specifically, and I cannot disagree more about
all of them showing up in a quarry and being like, "We're gonna go fight now."
Oh no, that part's dumb. I'm talking about Cabal specifically. There were a lot of people that made fun of Cabal, who is just some guy who has robot parts and super speed and metal swords, and he kind of looks like the armor from Fallout games or whatever.
The Brotherhood armor. Yeah.
Like kind of got that look. And he's got a line later in the... And first of all, he has a weird little Brooklyn accent. And I wouldn't say he quite has that in the games, but it's not that either. He's got like he's got an American like, hey, buddy. But he has a line later that's like, hey, he's gonna suck out your brother's soul. And that is exactly what I'm here for. Like, don't...
No, Nando. You made it sound too good.
No. What did I miss? I can't remember.
You didn't miss. You put in extra words. He says he's gonna suck his soul.
Even better. No, I think it's... So I think I'm even...
Wait.
I think we're both...
Yeah, no,
wrong.
I think we're both making it sound cooler.
His soul sucked out or something like that.
No. It's like he's gonna do a soul suck.
No, that can't be it.
I'm gonna find it. I have the game. I have the movie open.
All right. Well, while you
I'm at the bit where they're all fighting, so it's definitely about to happen.
I just think it's crazy how weak this movie did with trying to come up with imposing villains or one that you would give a shit about. Because besides Shang Tsung, it's like
bottom tier Shang Tsung.
Oh,
yeah, that Shang Tsung needs work.
But they all do. Like, none of the villains are compelling. Like the Goro's somehow the best one because he doesn't look like shit.
No, I like Sub-Zero in this movie.
Yeah, I think Sub-Zero.
Okay, fair. So yeah, Sub-Zero's the best, and then it's a steep drop off to the next good one. I just real quick on Goro, he punches Cole Haan in the head, and it would have broken his skull and killed him. Like, that's like that's like Iron Man. It's like Tony Stark taking a straight up Hulk punch with no Iron Man suit. Like, there's nothing cool about what Cole has going on that would protect him.
I did kind of, for the reasons Dad was saying here, I did kind of like Cabal because he felt like he was as silly as the movie should have been.
Yeah.
But the movie wasn't that silly, so it just came off as dumb.
But like,
I know, but he was the kind of dumb that I was into.
So if you take the characters that I think worked, right? Kano, Cabal, Sonia Jax, Liu Kang, or excuse me, Kung Lao, maybe Liu Kang. I'll put him in there as well. And then like a couple of villains. I think you've got a pretty solid Mortal Kombat energy. I think Shang Tsung, absolutely. Like I know I said that Liu Kang is one of the ones that I think you can easily watch both movies and be like, nah, the old one's better. Shang Tsung's the big one. I don't think this one's terrible. I just don't think he has enough, like, he's not big enough. He's not emoting quite at the right amount.
I mean, there's nothing to him except he shows up and is like, I'm evil man, and we're going to do him, like, evil things.
They give him a weird voice modulator, too, that, like, is like, okay, I get it. The actor wasn't threatening enough on his own, so you guys had to, like, bump it up in post. I don't know. It's a little much. Cabal was great. Melina was fine. I don't know. Melina was
kind of nothing.
She was a lot of nothing, I'll be honest.
Until she did the mouth thing, and you're like, oh, that looks fucked up. Like, that was it. That's all she had.
Yeah. It's funny that they just saved, like, the big mouth thing to the end, because, like, Michelle was, like, kind of watching in the background while I was watching, and she was like, is her mouth like that in the game? I'm like, yeah, and it's actually pretty cool, but they kind of went, like, actually weak sauce on it here, because they only used it at the very end.
What do you guys think the deal is with this Melina?
Oh. Yeah, because there's not a katana for her to be a clone of, so what's she doing?
But maybe there is. Maybe she's long dead.
I don't know.
See, the problem... I will
say, funniest villain? Funniest villain is absolutely Nitara.
Yes.
Because we have a whole intro thing
Nitara.
Where Shang Tsung is like, hello, see the beautiful Nitara, my new minion. Yes, we're going to sell lots of toys of her, don't you think so? And then she just immediately jobs to Kung Lao.
Like, okay, so this is where the movie won me, besides some of the other bits I thought were quite fun. Like, I think the reptile fight is probably... Honestly, I think the beginning bit is where the movie got me on its side, but I think the reptile fight is where I was like, oh, okay, this is like kind of what I want from one of these. But that bit, so like, you see these fights all start to happen, and it's like, yeah, there's no fucking way Cabal is going to kill Liu Kang. Like, that's not going to happen. There's no way Sonya Blade's going to die here. And there's no way that, are there any other main characters at this point? I guess Cole and Goro, but like, that's not happening in the same location. And Raiden's just on his phone in the back somewhere. So there's no way any of those characters are going to die. So Shanks like has to kill somebody. And I do like walking in, it's like, fucking hell, he's going to kill Kung Lao. Ugh. And then Kung Lao goes to fight Nitara, the most beautiful of all his children. And then it's like, oh no, it's just gonna go down. He's gonna go down like a chump. But you guys, he cuts her in half with a fucking sword like a buzzsaw on the floor, and it was amazing. I loved it.
That was so metal.
And
that was
then he goes down like a chump.
What'd you say? Then he goes out. Yeah, that's fine. As long as I think it was that. In general, I would be upset with a movie that kills Kung Lao first, because I do like the dynamic between him and Liu Kang. Although this is Mortal Kombat, he can come back as a revenant or whatever in the future, and I actually think that's kind of interesting. So you've got options there, but in a bit of that movie where I have already let Kung Lao go, like I'm like, fuck, he's gonna die right here, and he's not even gonna be able to do his cool move, and he gets it off. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. And it wasn't just he cut somebody, like he cut her throat with the hat or something. He threw it on the floor, did the buzzsaw thing, and put it on his head, buckled his little buckle, and said flawless victory. So pretty cool. He did get his soul sucked,
unlike the first movie, did
Cabal
use
told
flawless
us.
victory correctly.
God,
yes, he did. We only got one flawless victory and one fatality in this movie. And one Kano wins, I guess. So we got a couple of like movie or game words in the movie. But yeah,
I mean, it's
relatively reasonable.
It's fine. I feel like if you're going to be campy, great. If not, you don't need it. It's,
I mean, yeah, I think the Shang Tsung should have been turn that guy up to 1 million.
Hell yeah.
He should be kicking down doors. And I mean, I think we could have used one other guy. I don't know who.
Well, it can't be Shao Kahn. That's like too much.
No. I mean one other Earth guy. And like maybe let's say Jarek or something.
I'll tell you who it should have been.
Well, okay, so I think we have different purposes for this guy.
Oh, okay.
I want Jarek to be there and Jarek to be good, and maybe Kano and him have like disagreement. He's like, "You're part of the Black Dragon. You come with me." And Shao Kahn just shows up and rips that guy in half. Or Shang Tsung shows up, rips that guy in half.
Sure.
And
okay,
so yeah,
you want a Slipknot.
Yeah, Nando wants a Slipknot. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know what like human character or like Earth character that is, but someone like that. Oh no, you know who it is? It's the army guy who everyone hates. He's from Cabal. Like he's Cabal's friend.
Yeah, I don't know enough more about whatever this is.
Do you know who I'm talking about? He's a so they introduced a guy who has the dumbest name. Not like dumbest name, but it's like gunshot or something. And he was it's an S. Name starts with an S, and he's like a cool like American soldier. And he, Stryker.
Okay.
You put Stryker in here and have him just be like an American police officer. Oh, perfect. Have him be a police officer. He comes in with all of our crews. And Shang Tsung kicks down the door and he's like, "Hey, hold on there, buddy." And then he just rips that guy in half. That would have been fun. But, yeah, I mean, whatever.
I'd buy that. No, that's good. That's
good.
Like,
I want that guy to have more room to emote, because that's why we like the other one. That's why we like the original Shang Tsung, is because he feels like you know, he gets a scream, "Your soul is mine," very early in the movie. Like, I don't think we ever get that from this one, but I mean, we'll get him later.
I mean, I don't even know why the soul suck needs to be complete. Like, I think that Cole and the rest of them bitched out. Like, they probably could have saved Kung Lao. I don't think that was a done deal in terms of the soul suck.
Well, Cole wasn't there.
No, he is, because he stops Kung Lao from, like, full going. He's like, no, wait.
Does
I believe.
He?
I thought
Cole?
so.
I thought that fight takes place when Cole is at home in Shed.
The Goro fight? Yeah, that's in Shed.
Yeah,
no,
that's
but
the Shed
no,
fight.
that's
a Gary Indiana fight.
Is that happening concurrent to Kung Lao getting soul sucked?
Oh,
no, he's back by then.
You're very right. He has the fight at the Shed and then goes home to watch, like, goes back to Mortal Kombat Land to watch Kung Lao get soul sucked. Like he really does go, like, check his phone and go, like, oh shit, sorry guys, my friend's about to get his soul sucked out.
Not just to watch Kung Lao get soul sucked, but to cause Kung Lao getting soul sucked. Because at this point, Raiden is teleporting them all out, but Cole gets attacked before he can be teleported, so Kung Lao jumps out of his teleport to save Cole, and that's what gets him soul sucked.
Well, he saves Cole from being killed by Scorpion in that, or excuse me, Sub-Zero in that moment. So it's kind of like a sacrifice move. But everybody else is having one-on-one fights in the background. Like, not everybody else, but
no, by that point it's mostly over.
Liu
Sonia and Jax have been thrown over the wall. Liu Kang is still fighting Cabal, but otherwise everyone else is done.
Well, Sonia has been trapped under a rock, and Jax has been, like, he just saved her and found his Arcana, and I think he got teleported away in that moment.
Yeah, that's when they get teleported, which is when this is happening.
So there's a moment where Raiden is there. He is teleporting good guys away, and then it's just Cole, Liu Kang, and then, like, Kung Lao, and Liu Kang is just off doing his own thing, but he does not, like, Cole has to be teleported to the Mortal Kombat zone so that he could be teleported into the White Void.
Yeah, Raiden could have just teleported him to the White Void from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Well, he's not in Gary, Indiana. He's in, like, Chicago, which I think is where that character's supposed to live. He's in his house.
I wasn't clear if where he brings his family is, like, a safe house Jax gave him or their actual house. That wasn't clear to me.
Yeah, I assume he just dropped him off at his own house. But it could be either way, either one. But, yeah, Sub-Zero just pushes Cole out of his teleport right as Cole is about to teleport, and then Kung Lao, like, heroically saves him because he's the best. Also, we haven't really talked about this. Cole has found his Arcana. Anyone want to take a shot at whatever the fuck this is?
All right, so what I would equate it to is he gets a combination of, like, the Wonder Woman 1984 armor and Black Panther armor. Minus the helmet.
You're close, DJ. You're close.
Am I close? Okay.
I would say he gets... I would say he goes to the set of The Man with the Iron Fist and picks up the suit Batista wears as Metal Body or whatever the fuck his name is, because it's the same fucking thing. It's like gold, and, like, it's got that weaviness, and it takes hits the same kind of way. It's so similar that I was almost like, did that spin off of this or something? Like, did I miss a part of this game where it was, like, kind of similar to that game? But yeah, he has, like, a little shirt thingy. He gets an Under Armour shirt.
Yeah, and, like, whenever he gets hit, it, like, glows red, which is funny, Diggins, to what you said, where, what was the thing you said that his, like, coach at the beginning tells him about how he fights?
Like, you should learn to attack and defend instead of just throwing wild punches.
So it's funny because his Arcana is, like, what defends for him. So and he just has to learn to attack.
I watched this while we were talking. His trainer does call him Cole the human punching bag.
Yeah.
So it's both. So he does pretty much just turn into a human punching bag.
That's his Arcana. So I guess it makes sense.
That guy might be Quan Chi. He's bald.
We
can't trust him. Yeah, he might be the bad guy at the next one. Pretty good.
So I found that interesting when you said that. It's like, are they just, like, making his fucking power the thing that his coach told him?
Now, in a movie that's good, where Cole has a personality or an arc of any kind, you might be able to make that connection. and be like, oh, this is a manifestation of your personality. But instead, you don't have one, and this is just a thing that happened, and I guess I can connect those two statements, but those two statements have no connection to you as a person, so what does it matter?
I mean, yeah, you're right, but, I'm trying here, man, I'm trying.
Well, and also, like, the movie, I really do think the Arcana bit is, as much as we don't like Cole, and by we, I mean you do, because I think it's great, as much as we don't like Cole, the Arcana bit is the dumbest bit of the movie.
Yes.
And it really goes out of its way to, like, lengthen the middle in a way that's like, just have them fucking all learn a different style or something. Yeah. And let this kid come up with his own thing with the tonfas, because those are kind of cool. Because he doesn't just get metal body, he also gets, like, razor sharp hot tonfa thingies that, like, and I do think you're right with the Black Panther thing, DJ. You're, like, that's, I'd say, probably the closest analog, but it's just so close to... Do you remember what his name is in Batista's name is?
I literally thought it was Metal Body, but yeah.
I think it's like Gold Body or Copper Body or something like that. But whatever that guy's name is, he
Jesse the Body Ventura. That's
it. Yes, the Governor. He in this movie, it seems like Cole's like wrist. His tonfas are powered by how much you punch him. So, like, that's, like, a gimmick. And I think that could fit pretty well into Mortal Kombat. Like, I could see him being in one of these. He'd be one of those characters nobody likes because he's not from the original ones, but that's kind of... You really got to work hard to be a new guy. Yeah, like, it's easy to be a new bad guy and be popular, but it's really hard to be a new good guy and be popular, unless you're somebody's son, which I guess technically he is, but not in the same way that, like, Cassie Cage is or whatever.
I do think... I think the Arcanas are the way they are described is a decent idea, where it's like basically like you get your superpower when you have your character development. But that's not the way they actually work. Like, Kano gets his because he got really mad because everyone was calling him mean names.
Right.
And then Cole gets his because his family's in trouble, and he's like, oh no, family. So, and Sonia gets hers because she has the special boy power now.
Why does Jax get his Diggins?
Well,
because his arms are weak and he needs them. I don't know. That's my point, is that they don't actually work that way at all.
I'm with you. It's so stupid. Like, especially the arms. Like, it's crazy to me that he just grows better arms onto the dumb arms.
I mean, I think you could really just be like, yeah, the ninjas figured this out. This is special ninja technology. It's not like there's no ninjas in this movie that are also robots. Like, there's a whole thing in the future of these movies, like in the Mortal Kombat universe, where there's robot ninjas. So just be like, yeah, we killed one of them a while ago, and we're going to give you one of their arms.
Cyrax.
Yeah, it's such a very, like simple part of that universe to just pop into this. And, like, I don't think everything needs to be explained either, but I do think if you want to explain why he shows up with no arms and has arms later, then that's fine. But then you'd be like, well, what's his arcana? And it's like, who gives a shit? Also, I Googled it. It's Brass Body. That's the name of Batista's character in The Man with the Iron Fist. That's, I'd say, the closest to him, except he didn't get the hat. He didn't get the shirt because it's not, or he got the shirt, but he didn't get the face because it's not his face. You know, it's Batista's face. It would look weird on him, wouldn't fit, but all the rest fit because he's very tall, just like Batista. So they were able to use that prop from earlier. Very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way to reuse assets, right?
Exactly. You know, things are expensive these days.
Anyway, with his new special boy powers, Cole beats up Goro, the biggest jobber in the Mortal Kombat universe.
Oh my goodness.
That's a bummer too, because like we don't. I guess we don't see it. So there's one time we see a big giant statue of Goro with 4 swords, or whatever his race is. I forget.
Shokin.
Yes, the Shokin with 4 swords. So we would assume it's Goro because he's the one that usually wins. But like maybe it's not. Maybe it's his brother Floro or something, like just one that will show up later. But you kind of figure they'd reverse it, where in this movie we'd see the one from the second game, whose name I can't remember, is a tiger head. Like he would show up and fight, but maybe they wanted something that audiences would be kind of familiar with. I don't know. It's a tricky balance of like, who do you burn and who do you keep for a future movie where you actually have to do the tournament?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of just wish that we got more of Goro than one lackluster fight scene with the most boring character in the movie.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, I definitely don't love that Goro. Like, I feel like you just have to switch Goro and Cabal out or something. Have Goro and Liu Kang fight. That's a pretty cool fight. They're like the best ones. And then just...
That's the fight. That's the Mortal Kombat 1 fight.
Exactly, and have Cabal just fuck around with, especially because Cabal's from Earth. Like, Goro, while Goro is good at killing Cole, just because he's good at killing, he's not that great at this specific kill that he's trying to do. Like, he just kind of lumbers around and then does one big ultimate punch with all 4 hands. But besides that, he doesn't really have a whole lot of plan. So, yeah, maybe Cabal, maybe somebody else. I mean, I do like that Cabal is just there, and Shang Tsung is like, who's Kano? And he's like, he's a guy I know. You're gonna fucking love him. He'll help us cheat, because that's what this whole thing is. And then he does. There's no, I like that Kano isn't honorable, There's no, like, I fucking love like Earth, and because that's where all the races are and all the genders that I don't like, I feel
all the sexualities too.
Yeah. How can I be your turf on Outworld? But I feel like they got a good balance where they just were like, you know what? Fuck this guy. He's bad. We have to kill him. And I like that they let Sonya kill him with the gnome or whatever, so we could have him be in later. And then they let Sonya do another fatality where she shot Melina and did the thing where you kind of look through the hole in Melina at Sonya. So I think the fatalities were good. The bit where Liu Kang did a big fire dragon was good. That was cool.
I do think it's funny that. So Raiden brings them all to the void after Kung Lao dies, and they're like, what are we going to do? And Cole is like, what if we fought them? And everyone's like, oh my god, how could you have thought of such an incredible plan?
Yes, like, what if we did some sort of tournament-style combat? That couldn't work, right? That would be crazy.
But Sonya is just, like, been brainwashed by the conventions of this kind of movie, and is like, I want to fight the girl. And Cole's I thought maybe I'd have you fight the guy you have backstory with, who you fought earlier and beat. Yeah. I thought maybe that would be the better one. So why don't we do that? Why does she want to
fight Kano? Like, that she should be like, yeah, I got Kano, obviously. Have we been watching this movie or familiar with any Mortal Kombat shit? God.
It was really funny to me, because earlier when Sonya and Melina were fighting, I was like, oh, of course, it's one of these. We got to have the two girl characters fight each other.
Get in the mud wrestling bit.
Get in the mud wrestling bit. Yeah, I guess it's slightly less embarrassing than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But, yeah. But then she's getting in on, like, yeah, I want to fight her. And I'm like, why? You don't even know her.
Girls fight girls.
She does fight Kano. They do get her to fight Kano.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of Gary Indiana, she uses Gary Indiana powers to kill him by being underneath her little house. Yeah. She's like, I'll take him to somewhere he'll never be ready. It's like, take him to the middle of fucking Times Square. He'll probably have a hard time laser beaming you. As long as you're in the place before he is, and you get a gun, why do you have to teleport him in at the same time?
And then she throws a bottle of acetone at his face, and that makes his laser not work for some reason.
Yeah, it like short circuits even though it's magic. So what the fuck? No idea what's going on there.
That's right. What do you need to? I'm sorry. Did that not make sense to you, TJ?
Yeah, I was still a little confused.
With magic and nail polish remover, it makes your magic stop. I mean, I think that's not nearly as dumb as the hammer guy. I don't know how you lose a fight with a big hammer if you have a big hammer and the other guy has big arms.
Well, your opponent catches your hammer with his big arms and then breaks it. Then what are you going to do?
Be ready for
you're just a hammer guy.
Like,
that's all you've got.
That's got to be the whole plan. Don't let him do that. And he gets immediately just hammer caught, and it's god, that guy. That guy is.
Last time I saw this guy, he had
thing.
Tiny little robot arms. Now he's got big, strong robot arms. I wasn't ready for this.
Well, it's crazy that the hammer guy didn't crush his tiny robot arms when he had the chance. Like, he should have been breaking those bitches in half, because he had the opportunity.
Well, wasn't he fighting Liu Kang?
No, he was fighting Jax.
No, he's fighting Jax, and he's hitting, but I guess the small arms are stronger than we thought, right. So...
the small arms are very durable, they're just not very strong.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, you're right. That guy is weird. Don't care for him. I guess Sonya and Melina do have a fight. Knives v Katanas, actually. Speaking of things that I've looked up just a second ago because I forgot them.
Yeah. And then Melina wins, and then she's going to kill Sonia, and it's like, you don't have the blood of a champion. And she just fucks off for some reason instead of killing her.
I love that. No, that's fine. That is great. It's just like this, like, listen, you don't matter. You're just a rant. I mean, as far as she knew, she killed her. She didn't realize that this was, like, a dumb movie. But, like,
that's fair.
Stabs her in the, like, heart almost with this, sigh. And Sonia's bleeding big time.
Yeah, that's true. But this is the part I don't like, where it's like, your whole thing is we're pointing out that you're not the special boy, and then the solution is that you become a special boy.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, you don't need to be a special boy to beat the shit out of Kano.
Well, Raiden pretty much tells her that, hey, if you're not a special boy, get the fuck out. I honestly don't know why you're still here.
Yeah.
Jax is a special boy.
Lao specifically, it's like, fuck you, you don't have a hat, I have a hat. You don't get to play. And it's very mean. And I like him because he's the best one, but also maybe just let her hang out. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you need all the help you can get. It shouldn't be, like, Diggins is right. It shouldn't be a class system, but it's a fucking class system. So,
like, I mean, Kung Lao, you were going to get killed by just being, like, kind of caught by magic bullshit. Anyone could be caught by that. Like, if you wait and then just, like, let Sonya Blade get caught instead, that's a free body, buddy. And then Shang Tsung is sucking up her soul, and you're in the middle of the void. So, I don't know, man. Just, think it through. But yeah, that part where he cuts what her name in half is the best. I like that they show his face the whole time. Like, that guy does not throw the thing, throw his big spiky hat onto the floor, throw her through it, and then catch the hat. We see him, like Mandy, just face covered in blood, laughing and smiling, like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
I'm cutting someone in half.
He seems genuinely like a psychopath in that moment.
Yeah.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah. Also, God damn. The Goro fight, it's not just that Cole, we haven't really talked about this that much. Cole's power isn't just that he gets a special shirt. It's that his shirt is special because he had a friendship bracelet that spawned the whole shirt.
The minute that came on screen, Michelle was like, that's gonna break. Like, at some point, that shit's gonna break just because that's how this works.
Wait, like, what's gonna break?
The bracelet.
Oh.
Because doesn't it break later?
No. Sub-Zero breaks the one his daughter.
Oh, the daughter's one. My bad. Yeah, that's the daughter's bracelet.
Transforms into his special boy power.
My bad. Yeah, his daughter's bracelet. She was like, yeah, it's gonna break. But different from his. Why does she have a bracelet?
Well, does that mean Kano's daughter gave him, like, red color contacts that he's just too embarrassed to show off in front of the group? Maybe whatever your daughter gives you is sweet. Oh, shit. We haven't even talked about this, and we're so far into this. Cole has been getting visions from Scorpion that's basically in the beginning of the movie, there was Scorpion.
But that's how little it matters. It doesn't fucking matter. I thought Cole was going to turn into Scorpion.
Yeah, same.
Like, that's what I thought was going to happen, because I'm like, well, they're not just going to make a new power, but fuck me, I guess.
I mean, I get it. Like, I get not wanting him to be Scorpion immediately. But you kind of figure by the end of the movie, when Scorpion leaves, he's going to be like, I will take up the Scorpion name by the fam. But no, not that either. Who gives a shit? Also, he gets Scorpion's little stick. He's got all the cool stuff when they go visit John Oliver in the void. He's got all the... He just like, it's like, hey, this is his gardening tool he used to kill a guy once. You want it? Okay.
I was getting, like, weird, like, Matrix vibes when they, like, load up the programs. I'm like, what are they going to load up?
Yeah. It reminds me of fucking, ever seen, not ever seen. Well, I mean, you would have seen it with your eyes while you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Or no, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1, the one with Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, in the middle, like, right around this point in the game, they, like, the Watcher just teleports Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, and somebody else, I don't remember who, just to a white void to tell them how to win the rest of the game. It's just like this.
Yeah.
And they do this scene. He basically said Spider-Man to Gary, Indiana, and it's pretty stupid. But
no, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Liu Kang gets his little headband here, which I guess is part of Kung Lao's hat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's character development. Good movie.
I can't believe
the idea of character development.
It's an attempt at, right?
Yeah.
What I couldn't believe was Raiden takes them to the White Void. And he says, this is like a special place, and they can't get us here. Where previously the solution was, I'll put up a big thunder barrier, but that can be sabotaged by one of us at any moment. Why the fuck weren't they in the White Void the whole time?
Right.
Or just go there whenever things get hairy. It's like, a lot of idiots in this movie.
This is kind of Raiden's place for his me time, and he really doesn't like to bring people here.
Yeah, you don't want to bring everybody.
Into your void.
Everybody the void, then they show up all the time, and it's not really the void anymore. You know?
I get it. It loses
It's
its special meaning.
void.
Yeah.
I would say it's kind of dumb. Well, not dumb, but they do set up all the solo fights, and it's like, Jax, you fight the guy with the hammer who you already don't like, and I get that. That one's smart. Liu Kang and Cole, you guys fight Mileena and Kabal. And one thing that I didn't notice until I had rewatched it again, Mileena and Kabal have the same power. They both teleport, you know? What's up with that?
Well, Kabal's just really fast. Mileena teleports. They are slightly different.
Yeah, but in the game, Kabal's teleporting is just like he goes from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. It's the same shit. It's purple, too. They both have purple, like, hey, you thought you hit him on one side, now they're on the other side now.
Did Mileena have any purple in this movie?
She's so much purple.
She does
she
purple
Nightcrawler. She does little purple smokes.
Okay. I didn't read that
Also,
as purple. I was reading it as like a dark, like kind of.
There's absolutely no way you didn't read this as purple. DJ, you need to get your eyes checked. I'm so sorry. What color do you think Ryu's headband is? Not Ryu, excuse me. Wow.
Rayos is red.
Yeah, they're all red. The answer is red.
Every headband ever is red. That's why that's the answer.
Smart.
What I think is really funny about this is that Cole is like, we gotta section them off and fight them one by one. Because, well, first thing that's funny, he says, Raiden, you could teleport anywhere to any location at any time, right? Which, I wouldn't have thought about all the ways Raiden could have used his teleportation powers to fix problems in this movie if you hadn't said that. But now I am.
Now I am. Yeah.
And secondly, so he sets up this plan where we're going to fight them all one-on-one. And then he and Liu Kang fight Kabal and Mileena in the same place. The two people who have powers where they could easily abandon their one opponent and team up on the second one. Like,
it's true.
It seems to cut against your plan. It's a good thing they don't think to do that, or he would have been screwed.
Yeah, I mean, he can teleport anyone anywhere, right?
That's what they say. That's what the movie explicitly says.
Like, so Raiden, on purpose, teleports the hammer guy onto a bridge over lava. So he can fight Jax instead of just slightly to the left of a bridge over lava, so he can fall into lava. Like,
I guess so.
I love it. No, I appreciate it. And I like how much this movie does commit to fighting in 2 dimensions. So many times 2 characters fight on a board or on a bridge or in something similar where it's just like, yeah, you guys could fight on, in 3-dimensional space, but you guys are going to fight on this one little gantry so that everyone either has to move forward or backwards. That's pretty good. And how does it end? How do we kill all the ones?
Well, it's weird because so everyone wins their little fight, and then the big climactic fight is between Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Who?
Which, like,
are they from this movie? That doesn't seem like guys from this movie. It's mostly Kabal, right? Scorpion? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so Scorpion comes back from hell, which we kind of get like a little bit of background earlier, but basically the beginning of the movie becomes the end of the movie. So Diggins, to your point, and I think this is what you were alluding to earlier, this fight's kind of meaningless because it doesn't have anything to do with our story or our main character. So like, why is it going on? Like, Cole's involved, but not really.
I'm not sure Cole has any idea what's happening in that moment.
Oh, I guess this guy from my dreams is here. That's pretty cool. I mean, I guess he knows Iceman is bad, right? Because he sees Iceman tried to kill him earlier.
No, he definitely knows Sub-Zero's bad, and so the fact that this guy wants to fight Sub-Zero means like, yeah, okay, you're on my side.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think he knows what is like happening on a higher level.
I mean, he was given the dagger, and he like tries to use it against Sub-Zero.
Right.
So he knows it's important.
That's how Scorpion gets summoned, is Sub-Zero takes the dagger and stabs Cole with it, and his special boy blood activates its powers to summon Scorpion.
That's right. So I think that's not, like, fair, but I think, like, as far as, the plot is concerned, killing Cole to bring the cool character back is a solid move. Although it's not even the same dagger. He tries to kill him with it. It's not even like Scorpion grabs the dagger from him. He just gets a different dagger. And then
he just gets a hell chain now.
Yeah. I fucking love this fight. The fact that Scorpion says, I have risen from hell to kill you. It's the best thing I've ever seen. And I remember watching it in the moment going like, this is actually a good movie. And maybe the movie tricked me, to be fair, at the end of the movie into thinking it was the best movie I've ever seen because of this bit. The sword fighting is very good. They do a good job of like getting everybody's powers kind of going. You know, he snaps his like arm, and then there's some blood that comes out, and he turns that into a dagger and stabs him with it. It's very cool.
I mean, this fight is great.
It's beautiful, and the costumes for these two are so much better than all the rest of them. Just make this movie. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I just think that the rush to the MKU to squeeze in as many characters as possible and to do all these like fun little things, it's too much for them to bear, right? Like they want to do it so badly.
What do you think the next one of these is going to be about?
Actually, Mortal Kombat, maybe.
But do you think we're going to get? Do you think we're going to get Sub-Zero 2?
Electric Boogaloo?
I feel like this movie felt the need to do a lot of groundwork to be like, there's a Sub-Zero, trust me, but it's not the bad one, it's a different one, and he's his brother or whatever.
Yeah.
And the old one
that you also didn't like 400-year-old brother.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, there's this scene is an insanely convoluted scene, because...
Oh, wait. Can we go back just to near the beginning of the movie to talk about my favorite Sub-Zero moment?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It's the first Sub-Zero scene in the modern day where he walks up to Shang Tsung, who's like, we're gonna cheat. And he's like, are you ready to cheat with me, Bi-Han? And he's like, I'm not Bi-Han. I am Sub-Zero. But he says it with the energy of, like, they've had this conversation so many times, and Shang Tsung just will not respect his name change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Shang Tsung's like, you can't just give yourself a cool name just because you want to, Bi-Han, okay? Like,
I mean, it's
come
a
on.
pretty cool name. It's an English name, first of all. Very cool. Like, do people know what that means? Sub-Zero feels like a very specific number. Does that mean anything in Celsius?
I mean, sometime in the last 400 years, he's learned English because that's how he communicates.
And so does Scorpion. They all figured it out. They were like, this is...
Yeah.
We don't want to confuse people. We both remember when we were on the other side of this, getting told some words in a language we didn't understand, and it was very stupid.
Anyway, I like that because him saying "I am Sub-Zero" is like a big Mortal Kombat thing that you want to include for the fans, and this felt like the silliest, most ham-fisted way to do it.
Yeah, oh for sure. And I think if we didn't hear him say that, we'd still know he was Sub-Zero. It's pretty clear. He does all the Sub-Zero things.
I was pretty sure he was Sub-Zero, but then I knew. He said.
Well, and yeah, he did dress differently too in that scene. I feel like he didn't have the blue; he just had because as we've talked about several times, evil Sub-Zero eventually turns into a character named Noob Saibot, who is the like evil, like I don't even know what to say, like shadow version from hell of revenge. Yeah. So it was almost like he was that, and he was like, you know what, we're gonna do a movie. Let's do Sub-Zero, and I'll take all the blue stuff off for the end of the fight so everybody knows I'm the other guy now. And then when another me shows up, that guy's Sub-Zero also. But it would be confusing for the audience. Because he has a really cool outfit that is a lot of plastic. And when you start taking parts off of it, it starts to look like when Michael Keaton rips the head off his Batman outfit in Batman Returns and looks like a fruit roll-up. And it looks like that at the end of this movie when Cole and Scorpion are fighting Bi-Han. But I can't fault them for that because Batman Returns is also amazing. So what are you going to do? Were you guys excited for this fatality? This fatality excited me.
Nah, yeah,
no?
I wouldn't say excited.
Really?
No.
I mean, it was cool, but at that point I was like so uninvested in the movie that it was hard to get excited about anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're rolling up on like an hour 40 at this point. Like, come on, man. I mean,
it's long. It's like a very reasonable length for a movie.
Listen,
I don't think it's too
the
long.
End of the movie.
Yeah,
like it's.
I was too busy still laughing about the fact that only in this scene did we finally learn the names of his family.
Listen, your boy had sandwiches to eat. All right, can eat themselves.
Yeah.
So,
well, as a fan of Mortal Kombat and as someone who still enjoyed this movie a lot, there was a part of me when he said, "I've risen from hell to kill you," where I was like, "Oh, cool." he's going to have a skull his face and burn him to death. And then a little bit of fight happened, and I was like, well, I guess he doesn't have that. So that's a bummer. But then he said, I learned to control the fires of hell and started doing fire breath, and that made me very happy. I feel like everybody got their fatality. Obviously, Jax got his big face crush thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kung Lao is the best one. Liu Kang did fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did his animality.
Oh, God.
Is that his animality?
I mean, it's...
Well, like normally he turns into the dragon. He doesn't summon a fire dragon.
Okay.
But yes, that's how it works when he does it.
I feel like he's had a couple of fatalities that have all circled around that, where it's like he does like fiery things at you. But it's not like Scorpion where he burns you to death. But I do think his original fatality was really over the top, and I would say like maybe inspired the other.
His original fatality was really boring. He just like kicked and punched once each really hard, and that was it.
Oh.
Which is probably why they never use it in these movies, is because it's not that interesting.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awful. I hope they put that in one of these eventually, you know? Just have him punch and kick really hard. I mean, they did his silly whatchamacallit, kicks. The flying kickies, which I love. That was very good. But yeah, I guess they did Mortal Kombat 3, he turns into a big fire thingy. But then there is also the animality later where he is a dragon. I mean, it's got to be tough being in the dragon conquest, like the dragon contest, and one of the guys is a dragon. You know, it's like
just feels like
the
cheating.
One that's gonna win. Yeah, like why am I here to be fodder to kill the Australian guy? Someone else will do that. Can I not? But I guess he's committed. I appreciate it. All in all, great movie. What do you guys want in a future? I feel like this movie was kind of cheap, like money-wise, so I think they'll probably get another one. What do you guys want in a Mortal Kombat movie? And don't say Mortal Kombat, that's cheating.
All right, well...
Because that is what you should have in it.
I'll be honest.
Yeah?
Well, I was going to say, there's a glaring omission from... For me, there's only been a one thing that's been good in the one Mortal Kombat movie that exists, and they do tease it at the end of this movie, but I don't know if he alone could save Mortal Kombat. But you need a character like that who's, kind of a goofball.
We kind of had that, except he was also a racist, so we couldn't enjoy it. But,
yeah, that was the problem.
Yeah, they kind of had to have their cake and eat it. It was kind of a mistake, I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
You're talking, of course, about Mel Gibson. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, maybe. Who knows? I don't think it would have been crazy as someone who wants a young, fresh, like, main character, Johnny Cage, for Nicolas Cage to be an old, weathered actor, Johnny Cage. I have expected them
to pan up on the poster, and it was Nick Cage.
Yeah. That would have been awesome. Because, I mean, he was in that fucking awful movie we watched earlier this year. What was that called?
Jiu-Jitsu?
Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, it might as well have been this, except a little less stupid. Put him in there. And here instead. What casting director doesn't think they can get him? Believe in yourself, whoever you are. You can do it. Call Nick Cage his agent. He'll say yes.
Say yes to anything, right?
He would have been fucking Shang Tsung if you gave him enough money. It would have been awesome. Would have been like that bit from Grindhouse. Everyone would have loved it, but they didn't do that.
Well, hey, for my part, the Elder Gods aren't watching, so I'm going to break the rules and say Mortal Kombat.
Oh my god, how would you do something like that? That's insane. What would the Mortal Kombat be? Do we have to kill all the characters?
You don't have to. In canon, most of them don't die.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess as long as you don't have Shang Tsung sucking people's souls out at the end of every fight, you can have people just quit, and then that's fine.
So no soul suck.
I think you could do... as much as we're joking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think you can make a cinematic universe by taking a couple of these characters, just giving them movies. Like, I think a Kenshi movie would work, or whatever his name is. What's the name of the blind ninja?
Oh, God. There's too many guys.
He's not in any of the ones I played. I want to say it was Kenshi, but I think there have been at least two of that, whatever the one I'm thinking it is. Kenshi. That's the one. So that guy. Make a movie about a blind ninja who fights some sort of random... Like, he can fight Prince or Rain or whatever, the one... Because there's Rain, which we didn't talk about this. He's Prince. Have you heard this, DJ? Figured Diggins probably heard this.
I haven't now.
Diggins, you know what I'm talking about?
Purple Rain.
Yeah. So there's a character named Rain who is the purple ninja, who is a prince. Purple rain. Yeah. So, like, take some rando like that. Maybe make Ermac, like, a second in command. And have Kenshi kill Rain. And then Ermac can continue in future movies. But, yeah, I think he's fun. I think you could throw Kotal Khan in a movie with Jade. Make that... I think a Katana movie is probably the logical next step for this universe if you don't want to make a movie with all the characters we've already used.
Right. Okay.
Right, like, have her be the protagonist, Shao Kahn, you know, Jade, as I said, Melina, but probably not Baraka, and obviously Sindel, who, I forget who it was, I should probably find this. Someone made the point that Sindel is the character that The Room, whatever his name is, should play in one of the
Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau is a Sindel. Yeah, he's got the hair and he's got the delivery of... Too bad you'll be dead or whatever.
Perhaps you will die.
It's she's like, Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
Yeah. It's an awful line. It's like but it's great. I mean, it's right on there with Tommy Wiseau in terms of
But can he do really embarrassing spin kicks?
I haven't met him, so I haven't challenged him the way I would usually challenge an actor who I meet in real life to see if their spin kicks are up to par. I'm going to say no, but I think we can use the power of computer-generated imaging and green screen and wire fighting to make the kicks bad, if not worse, at that level. But yeah, I think I could see Kenshi, Kitana. Have you heard the casting that people do like for Johnny Cage? DJ probably heard this, right?
I haven't.
Give me an actor you think could really nail the Johnny Cage role in all facets.
So wait, I've heard one, but it can't be this.
No, I think it's the same one. I'm with you on this.
The Miz?
Yeah, The Miz. I think get him. Yeah. He's the right guy for it.
The Miz would be great as Johnny Cage. He's the right age.
Are you familiar with The Mizarella? That's what
I know of The Miz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think he'd be a good Johnny Cage?
Can you describe him, DJ, to people that don't know who The Miz is?
Yeah, so he's a professional wrestler, and his whole gimmick is that he's like a Hollywood celebrity, and he's in all of like the WWE produced movies, like Marine 6 and every single one of those movies. Like he stars in. So his whole thing is that he's like a Hollywood guy. He has a TV show with his wife on USA called Ms. and Mrs., and he's married to a professional wrestler. So yeah,
he used to be so bits great. Where he would like interview people in the ring with like a microphone and be like, "Hey, it's me, The Miz. It's Miz TV, baby. Everybody listen to me." And like that's so Johnny Cage. It almost seems like he probably has played Mortal Kombat and was like, "That guy, that's a thing that works."
And like, you know, he's in what I would call like Johnny Cage shape, right? Like he's not super ripped like Sheamus, but like, you know, he's fit. So. Yeah.
I mean, I think Johnny Cage as a character, the fun thing about him and the thing that I think works from the one of these that I played recently is you have two versions of Johnny Cage. You have the old kind of warrior Johnny Cage, and that is not prime Johnny, but like ultimate Johnny. And then you have like this like entry-level Johnny Cage, and he doesn't have to be the most ripped guy in the world, but he just has to think he is. And we can Wolverine him over the course of like 20 years and stop giving him water so that he turns into, you know, like a fucking certain circle contestant that I don't want to name. But like you can make that kind of person. I think he has enough of that body type now that I think it works, you know? So I think he's a great casting choice for that. I want to get one more better actor who's like a Nicolas Cage or something who you can put on the poster.
Right.
You know, a Quan Chi, or maybe recast Shang Tsung. I don't want to tell anybody to do their job, and I don't think he was terrible or anything. I just think you can put like kind of do a Batman and Robin, where you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, your villain is your big kind of money maker, and then everybody else is your position players. So I don't know. I guess Quan Chi is the secondary villain. I don't think it's time for Shinnok yet, right?
I mean, if he's your Thanos, you gotta wait, right?
Yeah, you gotta take your time with.
You gotta do the progression. It's Shang Tsung, then Shao Kahn, then Shinnok.
Yeah.
Well,
the reason sorry.
I was gonna say, how many phases is in the MKU?
Oh, it's infinite. But I think Quan Chi is that intermediary phase. Quan Chi is the Ultron of this universe, especially because of his relationship with the ninjas. So I think you could do a Sub-Zero 2 movie where it's just Sub-Zero, Scorpion maybe, but maybe not. But other robot ninjas and Quan Chi. And that's like its own thing. Because I think that character is interesting, but I don't think factors really well into the overall story. But I think you have to get to Shinnok eventually. So I don't know. I think it feels crazy to say split this up into lots of individual movies. But I think the parts of this movie that people liked are the parts in feudal Japan. So like, the more period pieces you can make out of Mortal Kombat movies before you actually have these guys show up in Mortal Kombat, the better. The thing is, we just can't kill them. We can't kill, like we can kill like Aaron Black and, Scarlet and shit like that, but we can't kill any of the main characters from the movies that they are in. Although that would be amazing if we do a whole fucking movie about, Kenshi, and then Kenshi dies in the first fight in Mortal Kombat Ultimate, whatever the big Avengers movie is.
Right.
That really fucked people up. But yeah, Bihan has to come back as Noob Saibot. We have a lot of options. Options.
See how far we get, right?
Diggins, what do you think? Overall, good movie, huh?
Yeah, pretty bad movie.
All right, let's go to mostly Rex. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't even remember how I introduced that segment. I was just like, this show's called
Mostly
wrecking it.
Yeah, my brain did a handbrake turn into the actual thing.
Just like Diggins, what do you think? Okay.
Yeah, you've disagreed. No, yeah, I listen, anybody that doesn't like this movie, I get it. It's not a very good movie. They did all the fatalities. The characters looked about right. And it wasn't a bloodless PG-13, like pose fest, so I kind of liked it. But
I mean, yeah, if what you want is you're a fan of the games and you want to see the characters do the things in the games, but in a movie, then like, yeah, it's good. It's for you. This movie, you are the only person this movie is for. Congratulations, you've won the lottery. If you're anyone else on Earth, then it's not going to be very good.
And I'll say this, and I was kind of going to save this for the Rex, but I'll throw it out now. The games are better at being written movies than the movie is. Like, Mortal Kombat 11 feels like I'm watching a pretty good movie. Because they really, besides like that the cutscenes are good that take you through the thing, there's a solid like arc and it's a really well put together plot. And that's why I think maybe laying the groundwork in a movie that isn't amazing is fine for me, as long as the next one is the one that really, leans into it. Because I think the Outworld, Netherrealm, that stuff is interesting. And the politics of that are fun. But yeah, I think I understand people that don't know who all of these guys are and don't just want to see them all do their one thing, being bored by this. I will give you that. All right, do you guys have anything to wreck? And real quick, nobody can wreck Sound of Metal. All right, DJ, you're up. What do you got? I had my headphones on when I was peeing and I heard all of your words. No. You can all wreck Sound of Metal. You know what?
It's a great movie.
Let's all wreck it. And we'll close the Rex bit
Can you imagine if we just wrecked
Let's just talk about how much we love that movie. I think that movie's awesome. It's my favorite. Do you guys all like it as well?
I love it.
Do you want to give the full triple wreck to the Sound of Metal?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I mean,
what do you think, Diggins? Do you think that's acceptable?
Yeah, can we do it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good movie.
Our powers combined. Everybody put your ring as close to the microphone as you can. Mine is shooting a red ray of death at the microphone.
I'm shooting a vaguely purple one that we're not sure is purple at the
DJ
mic.
Isn't, but everybody knows it is with DJ. Diggins, what about you?
I'm shooting a deep blue ray, a blue as deep and as vast as the ocean and my soul.
And I don't want to lead anybody astray here. I didn't pick red because that's the one that the racism guy gets when he does enough racism to get a superpower. I just picked that one because that's always the first one that Captain Planet gives. Fire seems to be the first one, but I will say our powers combined. We summoned Captain Deaf Drum Major guy,
Captain
Riz
Ahmed.
Yeah. As the Captain Planet of the show, this is unprecedented, the first triple wreck. So we're talking about Sound of Metal. It's a movie that came out this year. It's on Amazon Prime. Where do you guys want to start? DJ? We'll do a little bit of mini. It's almost like a mini nitpick.
Yeah, I love this. So I think for me, I loved how the movie takes you through the experience of, Riz Ahmed becoming deaf and, giving you a little glimpse into what that's like. And I just think technically speaking, the movie does so many things well that I just found myself encapsulated by it the whole time. And I will say this emphatically, with how the movie ends, super happy I didn't watch it in a movie theater. Because it would have ruined it.
Yeah, nobody can
promise, guarantee.
I think halfway through the movie, people would have lost it and just started talking. Like,
yeah.
Whoa, this is what it is. I'm gonna get on my phone.
Maybe in your witch-cursed theaters, perhaps.
Yeah.
But in a regular person movie theater, it would have been even more powerful.
Even in your, oh my god, even in your regular person movie theater, so the end of the movie happens, which I definitely don't want to spoil, but at a minimum, you're just going to get a lot of the crunching of popcorn.
Everyone's done with their popcorn by the end of the movie, DJ.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, but even by the bits in the middle where he's like, oh, am I able to hear or not? And it gets pretty quiet. I think you'd start losing, like, you'd be able to hear people eating popcorn behind you.
Slurping soda.
I think
soda.
If I could recommend this to people if you're like, oh, I don't know what they're talking about yet, Amazon Prime, it's a movie that you can watch. It's one of the Oscar movies by, I don't know by who, but it's starring Riz Ahmed, Paul Ratchie. Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but it's a movie that like you can watch on your TV or your computer or whatever. And I think I didn't do this, but it'd probably be cool to watch with headphones on and just commit 2 hours and go for it. Because I watched it, with another person, so we could do that. Also, I'm sure we could have if we really committed to it. But like that experience, it's you know what it is. It's interesting and it's kind of a bummer, but it's not completely a bummer, so it won't ruin your night.
Yes.
Which I
totally
think
agree.
What always loses me with these guys. I don't know. What'd you think, Diggins? What was your favorite part of this movie?
I just really like how to put this. It's very expansive of the experience of being deaf. You kind of expect it to all be like tragedy, but it's very much about like the deaf community and the ways they come together and like help him, and how that sense of purpose and belonging like really helps him, come back from. Because in addition to going deaf, he's also a recovering addict, and so like it sends him on this huge spiral. Like it's really, really bad for him. And just seeing the way he manages to build back from that is good. But then it also, like, right at the point where I was like, so then what's the rest of the movie? It, like, takes kind of a swerve that I wasn't totally expecting, but that also, like, really, I don't know, it all really works. It really works as a character study. It really works as kind of a simulation of, like, what is this experience like? It works as just a story about this guy and his addictions and like how it affects his life. And it's just, I think soulful is a overused word when talking about media, but I really don't know what else to call this movie other than soulful.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because it's, how fleeting something can be. You could have something at 1 minute and then life just fucking takes it away from you. Like, that happens to people all the time.
Especially like the movie Soul, where life is taken away from a musician.
And the lesson of Soul is, as long as you work hard enough after dying, you can get your way.
Yeah, cats do not have souls. That's the lesson of Soul as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone else on that escalator, totally cool with just dying.
I mean,
they're
listen,
like
I
totally
get it.
down with it.
New York kind of sucks. It's a reasonable way to react to being in New York. I will say, I mean,
it's no Philadelphia, but
oh my god, yeah, that's where our Rockies, our Cole Young types are from, if you ask me. Oh my god, Rocky would be so good in Mortal Kombat. I mean, Rambo, I guess, is in Mortal Kombat, so might as well just be Rocky like Rambo and not do any shooting, and then it's pretty much a Rocky. I was gonna say, the thing about Sound of Metal I think is so interesting is I feel like I've seen movies before, plenty of them, where there's some disability. Somebody has like some sort of, cane or anything like that. And at the end of the movie, there's some triumphant moment where they throw the cane away and then like, I don't need this or whatever. I feel like this movie does not take a huge stance one way or the other on whether or not any decision regarding that is right or wrong, or like it's very much just like, hey, here's the benefits, here's the negatives. You can feel like you're more of a part of society by having some sort of implant or something, but maybe you don't, and maybe that kind of isolates you from these people. But it's not all about this, what's the word, like kind of one or the other decision that I think a lot of these movies simplifies that situation down to. And I think that's probably my favorite part of it, is they came out of it going like, yeah, you know what? He didn't do everything right, he didn't do everything wrong. He's made a lot of decisions, some of them obviously less right than others, but those are reasonable decisions to make. Everybody in the movie, reasonable people that he spent time with, and I get why they reacted the way they did and why they tried to help him in the specific ways that they did. I would say one of the deaf, the teacher from the school that he does like drums on the, buckets.
Paint bucket.
Yeah, she's in Eternals. She is the Mercari, the kind of speedy character. So that's fun. We'll see her later in Chloe Zhao's masterpiece, where they actually filmed on set. Who can imagine a movie made like that? But yeah, overall, I think it's great. I think Riz Ahmed is great. He's so good. Remember how they made him the worst character in a Star Wars movie? That sucks.
Yeah.
He should have been better in that, because he's been better in every single other thing he's been in.
Yeah, he is great. He is a treasure.
Fucking Nightcrawler, he's great in that. So
Don't
good.
worry, Nando. Then they made Rise of Skywalker, so he's no longer the worst character in a Star Wars movie.
Oh my god.
That's true. Yeah, he might not even be the worst. Like, yeah, he's I do like think he's one of those actors that I don't know what to expect from him. And it's really hard to not compare him to other young actors, but I do think he's kind of different from a lot of other young actors in that he feels like a guy I could know. Like, I feel like I've met guys that he has a quality that's different from a lot of other kind of leading men, even like your Stephen Yeun. He just, I don't know, he always plays like this, and maybe it's just because The Night Of is very New York, and Sound of Metal isn't necessarily, but it's got this very like, yeah, I know that guy. Sucks that he's in jail now. It's hard that he's going through all this stuff, but it's a very, I don't know, it's very a very human kind of personal interpretation of that character, and it's a shame he didn't win best actor, but I hope he wins one in the future.
Oh yeah.
And he's gonna get one for the Assassin's Creed video game he's in.
Yeah, definitely.
Nah, it's an Audible original, so maybe he'll get something else for it. But he is in that. He's got a Hamlet movie coming out. My goodness.
Wow.
Apparently, according to IMDb, he is in a modern adaptation of Hamlet set in London. Oh my God, set in London? That's a mistake. Already, we've made one mistake. Something's rotten in the town of London. No, thank you, Hamlet. No, but I guess it's by the Macbeth guy, so there's some that guy knows what he's talking about. There's also a movie called Invasion. I assume it's not the Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie they made not too long ago. Oh, but maybe it is. It's two brothers embark on a journey with their father, trying to protect them from an alien threat. Oh my God! And Ma herself, Octavia Spencer, is in it. This might be another Ma movie. If only we could be so lucky.
Oh man, I hope we're getting a Ma too.
Grandma. Yeah, if they're smart. But yeah, no, Riz Ahmed, awesome. That movie is awesome. It's on Amazon. It's easy to find. And it's, like I said, and like, listen, DJ and Diggins, they could tell you they like this movie.
Yeah.
They watch all these movies about people, and it's very sad and whatever. I watched this movie. I liked it. It wasn't a bummer. I probably watched The Muppets after this. Had a great night. Because nice. I hate these movies that are bummers. It takes me a while to watch them. And this was not that. I mean, obviously, it's got its bummeriness to it, but it's a real, it just feels like it's a real cool movie. Anybody have anything to plug?
Just check out Roses and Rejections on the Pop Break podcast feed.
Oh my God, DJ, give him a little bit of sizzle about how the circle has become good instead of bad.
Well, what's funny is Michelle and I already recorded it, and so we covered episodes 1 to 8, and so we go over, we talk about what we like, what we don't like, and we did end on a bit of an optimistic note where we're like, well, we really like where it's going and hope it gets better. We just watched episode 9 today. 9 through 12 just came out, and we're like way back in on it. Really
just
good.
Start the season here.
Honestly,
give me a 5-minute recap up to episode 9, and let's make that episode 1.
It's so funny how we're like, it took them this long to get here. So we'll have that, and then in a couple weeks we'll have finishing up the circle and probably doing some other things. Too Hot to Handle is going to be coming out soon. I think it's like right after this. Is Too Hot to Handle season 2? I think that's right.
That's fair. That makes sense. That's what
June.
Chloe was from.
Yeah. It's going to be in June, season 2. So, yes, about a month pause, and then also the Bachelorette season starts up in June, and then it's like Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise and all that shit until the end of time. So, so we'll be bringing you through all that stuff. So check us out on the Pop Break podcast feed.
No, I'm with you, man. The circle felt like a real chore until episode 5, and then
9 or 5.
No, I'm saying 5, and then Philly showed up big time, and then I understood why this show might not suck. Yeah. Well, I mean, the big Philly energy. It's almost like any Philadelphian can be thrown into that show, and there's it's not always the same thing, but man, they got a very specific Philadelphia-esque energy to bring into the show. I get that. Yeah, it's exactly what almost worked last season, and now we get another shot at it. But yeah, I know, I'm with you. Episode 9 is the best one. I mean, episode 8 is it's brutal, but 9 is the one where I'm like, oh, this season might be better than the last season. Like
I'm really excited to see where it goes.
The dumb gimmicks have paid off. Yeah. So I think people will really enjoy it, and definitely worth listening to. What about you, Diggins? You got anything to plug to the fine people?
Just the usual. You can see my newsletter, alittleperspective.substack.com. If my brain ever becomes solid again instead of liquid mush, there'll be stuff there. You can count on it.
They love that when your brain is liquid mush. And by they, I mean Shang Tsung. Because I haven't told you, Diggins, that you have a dragon tattoo on your on that one part of your back you can't see. Yeah. So remember that night where we were driving my car and I was like, hey, Diggins, take the wheel, and we bumped over something? That was Reptile. We killed him.
Oh, my goodness.
We took his powers, yeah. So sorry that I didn't let you know about this. Because then you could have got your Argana by yelling slurs at random people on the street, apparently.
That's true.
You didn't get it.
Wait. Hold on. When's the Mortal Kombat? I've got to get ready for it.
Sometime in the next 1 to 20 years.
Oh,
Watch out. Watch out for reptile men, more of them, because it is a race of people, although they do say, send the reptile Saizax to get them, which means it's a reptile. But yeah, watch out for them. Watch out for a guy named Mocap, who is a man dressed in ping pong balls. I believe he was introduced in Mortal Kombat 5, who is like a joke, as he is the guy who did the mocap for all of the guys who did cool martial arts moves. They put him in one of the games. Watch out for that guy. If you see him, tell me, and I will come via purple-ish portal, purpley blue, and I'll stab him with my size.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm committed to the podcast. I want to get another 3-person recommendation. It can't be something we do once and then never again.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll have to come up like organically or how we would figure it out.
It definitely has to be organic. It's just got to be a thing where 1 week. Yeah. Because I mean, it cheapens it if we plan it.
That's right.
True.
I mean, it should be. I mean, it'd be great if every week we all had a Riz Ahmed movie, and it was just like either we all have our own thing, or Riz Ahmed's new thing. Well, baby, that's the hotness. Like that's the new 3-person rec. But I doubt it will come up as many times.
If DJ can get his recs in a week earlier than he usually does,
oh my God.
Usually they're just our recs from the previous week, so that would really increase the odds.
I'll be fair. I'm pretty sure I wrecked Sound of Metal weeks ago.
I think you did.
Probably.
When I watched it.
Probably.
Yeah, because I saw this movie forever ago because I really do think because of the night of, I feel very connected to Riz Ahmed. He does feel like a guy that I could know because of his New Yorkeriness. That whenever I see a movie like that, I'm like, yeah, let's check it out. Let's see what he's got. So yeah, no, but there's no judgment here. Not in the recommendation zone. In the plug zone, judge away. You know, this is Shang Tsung's Mortal Kombat as opposed to Raiden's Mortal Kombat where there are rules. There's no rules here. So
just right.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear. That's the Mortal Kombat rules. What if Raiden just like went to the Elder Gods? He was like, they have broken the rules, and they were like, here's the rules, and they picked up a big scroll, and it was just like, have them fight. Oh no, I thought I knew what the rules were. They had turned out to just be nonsense. Because I'll tell you this, in the games, he's whiter than you'd expect. That hat, not a good look for Raiden, considering how much he's just some white guy in the games. Yeah, I'm like, to be honest, watching the games, I was kind of expecting, a little bit more something, but it's just he's just like a Gandalf type. They pretty much make him Gandalf in those games as well, especially that he's kind of ineffectual and also like kind of a jerk. Because the 11th game, which is a very probably well-written story compared to 1, but post 9, they make him kind of the bad guy. And I think it's very well done, but it's it's an interesting move, considering that he is our Earthrealm champion god guy or whatever. I don't know. One of our gods is covered in seaweed. I don't know who's in charge of our gods. It's too much. Anyway, what did I got to plug? Video put out today. I'm on a couple podcasts. Did a Pop Break podcast, the Socially Distanced podcast. Have you been on this, DJ?
I haven't. I have not been invited. I assume it's because we're just too good at roses and rejections. They're like, well, we can't have them spread it too thin. So. Talking
to them this week, they did seem to have a concern for how many podcasts each of them was on. So I do think they probably were like, well, he's on 50 podcasts. There's no time. There's no way we can get Nando or DJ or Diggins or anything like that.
If this gets to them, I would love, Michelle and I both would love to be on the Social Distance pod, but, we're cool with roses and rejections.
Listen, we can bug the mostly nitpicking audience to tweet.
Oh my god. Send tweets to @thepopbreak.
Here's what no. You're gonna text.
Don't harass people.
You're gonna text me and I will forward it to people. But just text me a podcast logo.
Wait, or text not text. Or tweet, yeah.
Text, yeah. Here's my number. No, tweet some logo that is somewhere near a microphone to @NandoVMovies, and I will forward it to the appropriate parties, and that will be a what's the word? That's you saying DJ and Michelle should be on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got their ear. But anyway, so I was on that. We were talking about Captain Falcon this week. I'm also on a show called We'll Work for Podcast, which is a podcast about jobs. So it's fun. It's a fun show. I think my episode honestly will be out it'll definitely be out before this show comes out. It's not out right now, but it'll be out very soon. And it's just about what's it like to work in a job, and I'm assuming some of them are about working in a job where you make food or have other things in mind. Is about making YouTube videos about Spider-Man.
Sure, there's some where there's jobs that you contribute to society. Well, I didn't know about my job.
Some of the jobs are more startup-y, and some of them are more brick and mortar, kind of what you'd expect. And mine is about as far as the startup-y vibe without being a cult as you can expect. So definitely listen to that. I'm pretty sure it's Will Work for number 4 podcast. And if my episode is not out when this gets released, it'll be soon.
Nice.
Next week, are we going to do Miller's Roast Machines or are we going to do Fast 5?
I'll do whatever.
I would think Fast 5, because I think the Miller's vs. the Machines just looks like a normal kids movie and probably not that fun to nitpick.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll probably just all recommend it. I mean, we probably won't all recommend it, although maybe we will.
Oh.
Man, what if we get in a groove that we can't get out of where it's like, I don't want to not recommend The King's Speech because I want to recommend this new video game, but I also don't want to be the guy that doesn't recommend it, you know? I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, so I think Fast Five, or is there, like, do we want to do Maleficent in a pre-Cruella push?
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, like, that's the other movie that comes out in May, is,
Well, it comes out, like, May 28th, right? That's, like, pretty late May. So, like, if we wanted to, like, week before, we could, yeah. And then there's the,
we only need 2 weeks of build-up, because there's 2 Maleficent movies.
Oh, God.
If only.
I'd almost rather do them. Well, there's no way we could combine them into one pod. There's no way.
I mean, that plot is gonna really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do Fast Five. Oh, we could do Fast Five, or the other one we should do. Not should do, but could do is Spy Kids 3D. That's the other one that's hanging around.
Yeah.
We gotta make them wait. We always make them wait.
We could do it. We could do another video game movie in a post-Mortal Kombat world. Now, let's do Fast Five. Because Vin Diesel put out a trailer, I don't know if you guys saw it, for Fast and Furious 9, but also just for movies. Did you guys watch this?
Man's a treasure now.
Oh, it's adorable. It's like, we all used to go to a thing, and we don't go to a thing anymore, but maybe we will in the future. That thing is the movies. And then the Fast and Furious trailer starts. It's pretty awesome. So, yeah. We'll do Fast Five. The one that is the one where things start turning around big time.
Yeah, baby. I'm excited.
I'm really excited. All right. Until then, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Peace.
Goodbye. We love you.